What is going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Second Guessing with Stressin. I'm your host, Garrett Williams, aka Texans Commenter. Today it's just going to be a live Q&A. I'm a little late, and man, this is crazy. Shout out Russ Yeast. We got a Texas player in the chat. He says first, IG goat. Let's go. I'm pretty sure you are the real Russ Yeast. I saw it's a new account, and I saw you put in your bio, and I saw you followed me, and I followed you back. I don't know if it's really you or not, but if it is, regardless, what's up? But anyhow, yeah, I mean, it's been an exciting week for the Texans, and it's only Wednesday. I know I had a show on Monday with Dr. Deepak Chona, who is a surgeon, a sports surgeon in Houston, and is a Texans fan. And he also has a website and does analytics, web sport. It's called Sports MD Analysis, I believe.com. Sorry if I messed that up, but follow him on Twitter. You can follow from my previous episode, or just Google his name, Deepak Deepak Chona. Anyhow, but I thought it was really good that we got that episode in. So I had been in communication with them, and I had a big feeling that Stroud was going to throw this week when it was mandatory. And so that's why I wanted to get the interview in. And, I had kind of developed my own, analysis or perception or opinion on what I thought was happening. And so kind of learned. I wrote an article and we talked about it. We all have our own opinions, but obviously everyone has different, opinions on it and thoughts and ideas, and everyone has valid reasons for their own line of thinking. But it was kind of cool to talk to him, to ask him about that, and see, that his, or I guess to see that my thoughts kind of align with what he had in mind. And this is from a surgeon who operates on athletes and follows a lot of data about stuff. But it sounds like what we thought and what we talked about, it really was just what D'Amico Ryans was telling us. And that was that it was just a stressed or strained rotator cuff, which he had at Ohio State before he hurt his AC joint later that year, the first year that he started. And that comes from overuse, overdoing it. And he didn't exactly tell us in his interview. And we'll do like normal and kind of just go through my timeline and go through, the last 2 days of mini camp to go through all the action and all the interviews and the clips. But in that interview, he didn't give us like an exact reason as to why, but he basically said it was like, maybe a mix of training too hard in the weight room and or throwing, but it definitely wasn't surgery. He said it wasn't surgery, which we all were saying it, very, like, okay, maybe there was a small chance that it was surgery, like a minor deal. But I mean, we were all kind of on it, most of us in here, that, it's nothing major. And then we talked about with Deepak and, all the activities that we saw him doing, shooting basketballs, going on a wakeboarding boat, like everything he was doing indicated that he was fine. And so like I got a lot of the frustration that people had. And like when we talked about it first with D'Amico's presser, like I was somewhat frustrated initially with the messaging or communication. But I quickly like learned, like, we're kind of like nitpicking at it. Like it was just weird because like people were like saying that he was lying. D'Amico was lying. Like he told us the same thing the whole time. Like day one, he came out and said, it's just everyone has their own schedules, which we came on here and said and have been saying that suggests a pitch count. Quarterbacks, especially high volume throwers, especially CJ Stroud, who, went 2 years into the league, threw the ball a lot more than he had at college, especially if you consider the longer schedule and playoffs. And he's a young guy. He's proven there's no need to rush him. Yes, there's a new OC and new weapons, but it's still a lot of time to get this sorted out. Likely he just overdid it in the offseason in the weight room and really just throwing, probably trying to fine tune his mechanics. Had a somewhat of a down year, especially I'm sure he was upset with his performance last year, so he probably hit it hard. And then it came out too, like D'Amico talking about it, and we'll get to it, that basically he had to hold CJ back, like CJ wanted to go. So the whole thing was, that's exactly what it was. And D'Amico, and this is what I suspected, knew that's what it was. He knew it was a day-to-day thing, that he'd be fine any day. So with that logic, he's like, I don't need to come out and say this, and that, and I don't need to give you an exact date because one, I don't know, and two, it's not a big deal. And so like I think he was just hoping, hey, you know, it'll before like I have to really address anything crazy or not even address it, like it'll go away. So and you can't blame like media and fans. Like, of course you get worried and have questions. But just like the kind of the timeline of it, like the fact that, he said everyone has their own schedules. That's what it was. CJ had his own schedule. And we've seen other guys miss time. Jalen Noel, Christian Kirk, this guy, that guy. Like, everyone has their own schedule. And then, when Nick Caley talked the next time that he didn't throw that was available to public, he reiterated what D'Amico said. And then when D'Amico spoke the second time, when CJ still hadn't thrown, he's probed more. So then now you get more out of him. And he said it's general soreness, and that, caused a lot of speculation. And then he's asked about surgery, but we talked about it too on here with Deepak on Monday. Like, my interpretation is that he already knew, like, it's become a story and it's something that's not a big deal. And I get, like, you can say like, hey, well, why didn't you just say it? Like, he kind of did. Like, I don't know what we want him to say, so like feeling like he has to like tell us it's this and this, and like, hey, you're worried. No. And he told us I have no concerns at all. And it's like, so you can't get mad at him because people didn't take him for his word. And I get there's like the previous stuff like with Christian Harris, but really, I don't like, I know that was frustrating and I was frustrated by it too, but I don't think he lied to us in that case either. I think that one is a whole separate thing. You can't extract that and extrapolate it onto this scenario and say, oh, this is how he does it. I think they really didn't know. I mean, like, not all injuries are the same, not all players are the same. It's not like, oh, this happened to this guy for sure, he's going to come back for sure on this day. Like, they don't know. Like, I'm sure they wish they knew exactly what the extent of Christian Harris's injury was and when he'd come back. It was a fluid situation. And so I think that was part of it with him. And I think a lot of it too is us as fans, like, want the player to be back or want them to know what the answer is to tell us, but sometimes they don't know. So, and that's kind of what it was on a much smaller scale with CJ. But I just felt that, like, he thought it was no big deal, and you can tell he was like frustrated about it. So when he spoke the second time, he got out in front of it and like addressed it. So I bet, and this is my analysis, is that he came out off the jump is like, I'm just going to squash it so I don't have to deal with this. Like, he's going to throw in a couple days in his head, but he can't tell us that because then now he's being held to a timeline. And like, now it's like you're operating based off what the fans and media want to do rather than you just doing what you want to do is exactly the way it should be. So, so he tried to get in front of it, answered a question, and then got another question. And then he got asked about the surgery question, which was, I thought was totally fair, but he was frustrated. And, yeah, he could have said no, but like, I think his logic, and I agree with it, is like, if I now say I'm like done with it and like let you know I'm done with it, and then you ask a question and then now I answer that because it's a no and I don't want you to be worried, then you go against your word and now you have to keep feeding into it. And so the fact that he didn't answer that question, in my opinion, should have never been analyzed as, oh, that means he got surgery. Like, and you had, people like Florio talking about, oh, you could see his body language. He started pulling up his sleeves. I was like, yeah, he pulled up his sleeve because he's pissed. He's like, I want to quit fucking talking about this. He didn't do that because CJ Stroud had shoulder surgery. So maybe it can just be a lesson. Like, all right, like, we have to take him at his word. Things happen. They don't have all the information. They're not entitled to give us every bit that they know. And we'll go back through like his interview. I thought it was great, man. Like, he showed a side of himself that we hadn't seen, where you could tell he was relieved and like basically like he like owned everybody. He's like, told y'all, like, y'all chill out, like, y'all don't listen to me. I told y'all, and that's exactly what happened. So I thought that was funny, but I mean, regardless, like, I mean, I would be lying too if I acted like I wasn't relieved myself. Of course, like, there was like, you can believe something and it's an opinion or a thought based off of, judgment and, context clues and NFL history of quarterbacks and my own experience playing football and being around quarterbacks and experiencing pitch counts, and then talking to someone like Dan Casey, a big offensive guru who's on the show, suggesting the same thing. It's common for pitch counts, all that stuff. And then Deepak saying it. So, but all that being said, it was still nice to see it. And then obviously, it calmed everyone else down as well. And then when he does throw, like, for the stuff we've seen, so obviously, again, shout out all the local media and the Texans and everyone who's there covering the team and putting stuff out there for us to see. Again, like, even though none of us are there that are fans, it feels like we're there, and we can get a good sense of what's going on. And from what we saw, like he looked, like he was hitting the ground running. He looked great. Had a lot of good passes. I mean, he's the CJ that we know and love. So that was good to see. And we can kind of go in through my timeline and kind of go over stuff, but seems like there was a lot of good stuff. Like Jaden Higgins seems to be like an early standout. Jaden Higgins basically seems to be, in my opinion, based off of what I've seen reported in clips and from interviews, is last year's Kamari Lassiter, which was a second round pick who, we heard in OTAs was balling out and we didn't know what that meant. But basically it meant like, hey, like he's the guy. So he balled out from the jump from day one and he was the starter from day one and should have been in the rookie of the year conversation. And D'Amico's now telling us this too. He's told us time and time again about rookies, how he's not scared to play them. He'll play the best player regardless. And he thinks that, and he specifically called it out and has been calling out Jaden Higgins. Like he's telling us like, hey, like this guy's going to play. So it is frustrating, when sometimes people like try to like, jump on you for being excited about a player like Jaden Higgins. You see the highlights and hear about the catches and you like get excited and say, man, I can't wait to see him. People are like, oh, slow down. We got to watch him play. Like, well, like you can still get ahead of it if the things are leading the right way. The history tells us that he's going to play, he's going to be involved. And what we watched, it translates. And, in these OTAs, he's going against Kamari Lassiter. He made a sick catch against him on a wheel route or a go route where basically he stacked him. He got on top of the defender. They were even stacked on top of him, fought his hands and then one-handed catch, extended out using his long frame and reach to get it. And you can argue pads or no pads. Like as a receiver, like that shit don't matter. Like that's going to translate, dude. Like he is the real deal. So there's no reason to try and like, I'm not accusing anybody of that, but like there shouldn't be a reason to sour. Like, oh wait, we got to see it. Like, nah, we've seen it, bro. Like, okay, yes, we need to like see it, but like there's no reason to believe that Jaden Higgins won't be an impact player. We've seen it. We've watched it. D'Amico is telling us about it. So, but yeah, so, and he's mentioned, we'll go through too, like, it sounds like, things to look out for in the offseason going into the next year is, you have your big jumps. They call it the year 1 to year 2 jump. Obviously when you're a rookie, you spend your whole first offseason training for the combine and going through all that stuff. So you really don't get time to train your body for an actual season. You're training more for like combine numbers. And then you don't have as much time being around the facility and, coaches, stuff like that. So there's that part of it. And then obviously you're a rookie. You've learned, you have experience from, the speed of the game and all that stuff. So there's a big year 1 to year 2 jump. And then, they call it the year 2 to year 3 leap, especially in quarterback. So, for year 2 to year 3, we got CJ obviously and Will. I think those are the two biggest that, we'll definitely keep an eye on. And I think both will have leaps for sure. And then the jumps from year 1 to year 2 that D'Amico called out, which we'll see, is Cade Stover's a guy he mentioned. And you look at like the highlights and stuff that they post and other media members post, it looks like he's doing good. And then, I mean, obviously, again, too, like we can only analyze and dissect what we have access to. Obviously, we're not there, so we don't know for sure. But I mean, if you can kind of match up what we see and what they're telling us, again, he told us what happened with CJ Stroud. He's being honest. He's doing the same thing in these interviews, especially like the things that I catch in on, because I've been watching every interview of not only them, but like the Texans. Like I've watched like every interview, like 90% of them since they've been around. So like that's just how I am. I love interviews. I feel like it's a great insight into the team. And if you pay attention, kind of just like psychology, stuff like that, I feel like you can pick up on some stuff. But D'Amico Ryans, I guess anybody too, like D'Amico and Nick, like anybody when they're getting interviewed, and if they get asked a certain question and then just give you a random answer about somebody that's not related to the question, then that means that's a genuine thing about them. Whereas if it's a pinpointed question, like, hey, tell me about this player, and then they tell you, then yes, they can brag about them, but that's not like unprovoked. So I mean, it could be just them answering the question. But so with my point with that was like, he was just talking about a general question about practice, and then he just offered up Cade Stover out of nowhere. And he offered up Kalen Bullock. He offered up Nick Neiman. He offered up EJ Speed. I mean, he used those two guys about like how they like practice, taking to practicing. So, but to me, like when names are just dropped unprovoked, that means like their subconscious mind is like, man, that guy did good. And he's still like dissecting what's going on, and it just kind of naturally comes out. So, anyhow, yeah, that's just my random monologue opener. We'll get to the chat. Forever Royal, my guy, what's good? BG, what's good? Forrest McWhitaker says, "What up, Blessing? Minicamp has been looking good so far. Facts." And he says, "Thank you, brother, for all the content. You keep us informed while on the go. Blessing, for sure, man. It's a grind, dude. When I do these interviews, like, because I want to get it out quick. And so like I'll be watching it. I'll stop. Like, oh, it's a good quote, and I'll like stop and record it. The problem is like we got so many damn good interviews with like so many good like interesting things that I find that I feel like I should share to everyone out there. It just takes me a while to like dissect through it, but like, man, I've gotten a crazy process where I'm like it's almost stressful. I'll be stressing to try and get it all out to you guys, and then I also don't want to do too much, which I probably do, and just flood everyone's shit. But I'll post it on all the platforms. I got a pretty good process where I can knock it all out. I'm crazy, but yeah, I mean, like these interviews, man, like it's a tough balance. What I should do is I should watch the whole interview and record the ones that I like, and then go back and try and figure out. But instead, like as I go, I do it, and it's like by the time I'm done with the interview, it's like, man, I found like 7 things that were interesting in like a 5-minute interview. But anyhow, it's a fun process. I enjoy it. And I feel like you can find a lot, and we'll see it here. Like, I mean, if you listen intently, and the cool thing too about me, the way I do it, like, my process is this: as I'll watch it, and as I go, more often than not, like I'll find a soundbite. Like if I know it's like a good one that people want and they'll do well with interaction and people enjoy it, I'll clip it. I record my phone, I'll clip it, and I'll post on Twitter first. And then now from Twitter, I can screenshot my tweet, and then I can take it to TikTok, and I can edit it in TikTok, and on there I will make the video part up top, and then I'll add a photo if it's someone talking about a player. I'll do that, and then I'll overlay my tweet, and then I can from there save that video and take it to Instagram and then YouTube. And now Instagram also goes to Facebook, so that way it's like everyone can get it. And I know everyone doesn't have time to sit down and watch a live or watch the whole interview, and so that's kind of my goal and what I'm doing. It's like I'm trying to like be your eyes and ears, make it easier to be a Texans fan, and like I really enjoy it. But my point was, as I do that process, it takes time to go from this app to that app to this app, and there's like editing. So like I'll watch the same clip multiple times when it's all said and done before it's posted across all platforms. So like for me, it's like relearning and re-listening to the same thing over and over again. Like I pick up on stuff by doing that. So it's a cool process. I enjoy it. So um and then Forrest says, "Why has Sarge been so negative on Chubb? I'm with B. Scott. The addition raised the floor and the ceiling of our RB room." I don't know. I haven't really seen his coverage on it. I mean, everyone has their own opinions on players, and we're not all gonna agree with every reporter or analyst's opinions on everything. But I'm high on Chubb. I mean, I don't know what his reasoning may be. I would just, if I had to guess, it would be age. Yeah, but as we talked about, we talked with Deepak Chona, Dr. Deepak. He said that Nick Chubb will be based off of data and machine learning and algorithms off of players from these injuries, that he will be at 85% of his old self, his prime self, before the start of the year. And that's mostly because of that. The most recent is the foot injury, but like now he's year 2 off of that big knee injury. The only thing with him is that he has more risk to get re-injured, according to Dr. Chona. But now if he's RB2 and he's splitting or less than splitting carries with Mixon, then there's, like he mentioned, the lower volume, the lower chance for you to get hurt. But now if he's a bell cow, yeah, he might get hurt. So it sounds like the production, the ability will be there, and everything leads up to it. Like his, you watch these videos, like his workouts, and even today he talked about he's hit all of his numbers that he normally does. So basically that means that he is as athletic, strong, big, and fast as he ever has been, despite the multiple injuries. I mean, really this year the only injury was the foot one, which Dr. Chona said that was not really that big of an injury to get over, honestly. So the biggest thing was just now being a full year removed from the knee, which the big thing with the knee is you spend that whole year rehabbing to get back. So you really don't get the full training. So when you do play, you didn't have like a full off season of training normally. I think D'Amico pointed this out too. So now he'll have a full off season of training normally because he's not rehabbing, given that the foot injury isn't that crazy. So I think he'll be great, man. I mean, it's a good situation. We got him on the cheap. Um, he's not expected to be a bell cow. Like whatever we get out of him is a bonus. And I think that the offense projects to fit his style, downhill gap running scheme. So I think it'll be great. Give me one sec. I'm gonna clear my throat and get some of my wine here. I didn't pour enough in the glass. I might have to go take a break in a minute and get a refill. Shout out Jordan. He says, "Sorry, I'm late to join. Thoughts on the tight end room? Love it, dude. I mean, I know people like we want uh, honesty and to not just be rose-eyed glasses or whatever. But I mean, there's really not a lot that I don't like about this team. I mean, I was thinking about the tight end room today, like you know, hearing about D'Amico and FYI. I hate that I'm doing this during the finals. I like all sports. I got it on the corner over here. Indiana's up 105 to 107 to 100. Let's go. I want the Pacers to win. Screw the Thunder. Pacers are an exciting team. But anyhow, so let's see. Jordan said, yeah. So thoughts on the tight end room? Yeah, I mean Stover. We just talked about that year 1 to year 2 jump. He got thrown into the fire last year. And also the scheme he was in. So like you can project that our tight ends will do better and a better scheme. And I get to we can't just keep saying scheme this, scheme that. It's going to be like a magic pixie dust. But I do think it will help. But Nick Caley's a tight ends coach. Like he's coached the best. He's coached Gronk. So I mean, he can coach them up, and then we're already seeing the improvements. And I guess I'll say it too. Like we'll see on the clip, but like what D'Amico talked about with Cade Stover was like the thing that he needed to work on was like the top of his routes and getting separation. And he's like, and he said it, and then he said like he's done just that. And then you watch the clips, like yeah, shit, he's done it. So and obviously blocking would be a big deal, but like Stover is projected to take a jump, you would hope. And then I think Schultz, I mean, from watching the limited footage we can see, he made a big play today. Obviously, he was wide open, but from the clips that I've seen, like he seems to be moving pretty well. I really like, I thought he was injured like all of last year, like until it just became that's just how he looked all year. But I was like waiting, like, week 6, week 7, like when are they going to announce that he has like a bum knee or something? Because he just looked like he was moving different. And so maybe there was something we don't know, but he seems to be moving good. And then again, Caley, tight ends coach. I also think that he was, he definitely did not benefit from the scheme, even though he did good in it the first year. I think it kind of caught up to him. He could be, he was, me and Dan Casey talked about this, like a good OC, an experienced OC, which Nick Caley is not experienced, but I mean, still like, you can still be inexperienced and still be able to pick up on these things about matchups is like a big thing. Being aware of who's where and when. And, if you have a game plan in and it's meant for this guy, but then if he's tapped out because of whatever, and part of that too could be, you just having a good team around you to communicate, hey, if this player comes out, tell me so I know not to call this play that I think is for Nico, but now it's for Hutch or whoever, So, but the point on Schultz was he was asked like the last drive of the season, we always talk about it against the Chiefs, the biggest drive of the year. He was asked to block Chris Jones and then George Karlaftis back to back on the 2 biggest plays of the season. Like, that's not his fault, bro. Like, yes, he got work, but like, what do you think is going to happen? So I think Schultz will be better. And then we're not really hearing much about Brevin Jordan because I believe he's still coming. He's still on the side working, coming back from his knee injury. But D'Amico has been high on him this offseason, in the various interviews from January until now. He'll just bring him up. And so between those 3, I mean, shoot. And we haven't even talked about Luke Lakey, bro. Like, I think that guy, like, maybe he's a practice squad guy, but like the potential is high as hell. So yeah, that would be dope to see him kind of get some snaps. But I feel good about the tight end room, man. Him Faithful on X says who's going to be the biggest aid to us overall. Like overall, I don't really know like exactly what that question means. Biggest aid, I guess. Faithful, if you hear me now, still, just kind of clarify what you mean. Like, like player, offense, defense, like just in general. Because I could go a million ways with that answer. Coach, whatever it may be. Austin Tucker, my guy, he says, "What up, Blessing? We called it on Chubb coming to the team." Yeah, so shout out Austin. on X, just having convos like we always do with each other. It was just about a clip on something, and a natural convo happened, and he's like, I could see the Texans, adding Pierce, or what do you think about that? Or like, I would like us to do that. And I was like, we were talking, I was like, yeah, I would totally agree. And so shout out Austin. Him and I were on it. I mean, I should give him the credit. He kind of, mentioned it first. It's something I had thought about as well. And then, eventually I made a post about, uh, that kind of went viral about, would you rather have Chubb or Pierce? And basically, like, insinuating as something that I wanted to do, that I would want the Texans to do if they had the opportunity. Like, that's to me an instant upgrade. And that's no knock on Pierce. It's more about, Nick Chubb, and it's more about from what I've experienced, observing D'Amico and the Texans ever since that loss to Kansas City. They are in win now mode, and they're not messing around. Like, they've shown that, they'll do whatever, they'll make the bold moves, the tough moves, where it may not be the nicest to someone on the roster, but if they get a chance to make the roster the best that it can, they'll do it. So, um, yeah, so, we kind of thought about it. I made that post about it, and some people liked it, some people didn't, but a lot of people, and those people too still may have the reservations, but like thought it wasn't likely and thought it would be dumb to do that. Basically, you're getting an old Chubb, injured, yada yada yada. But my like bite back on that, which I haven't like really gotten solid a reply to, but like, if someone's arguing for DP over Chubb and using Chubb being injury prone and having injuries as the reason, well, Damian Pierce has had injuries too. Like, he's not even practicing right now, and I would argue that his injuries are more concerning from the fact that they're soft tissue. Like, he's pulling his hamstrings and stuff. Like, that's something that you can somewhat control. And as we talked with Dr. Chona, like, that's like imbalances in your body. Whereas if you tear your knee and you get hit in your knee, or someone steps on your foot, like, that's not because you are injury prone. That's just bad freaking luck. So, but like, if you're gonna sit there and try and argue that Damian Pierce is, you know, less injury prone, better, that's crazy. Like, yes, this isn't the same Chubb, and maybe like Dr. Chona said, 85%. Even if it's not that, he's proven. We've seen what he can do. And Pierce is somebody, obviously he had a great rookie year, and then, struggled the next year because of the scheme, the wide zone, where it's more vision based, when he just wants to, run straight downhill. But, he's someone that when Mixon went out, we struggled. And he had every chance to carry the load and didn't. So, I mean, my take is like, they saw that, like, they've evaluated him, they've seen enough to know, hey, okay, we know what he is, and not saying whether he's not good enough or not, but like, we know he's at this level. And then now you got these free agents. You got, oh, Nick Chubb, yeah, he's up here. Like, if we get a chance to get Nick Chubb, we're gonna get him. So, and that's what they're telling us. Like, they're not gonna get him to not play him. Like, obviously, with the contract, it's like $1 million up to $5 million based off incentives. So you have some flexibility if things don't work out. But I would say, like, as far as like that situation goes, as far as, what happens to Pierce, I would predict that he gets traded if there's trade value, which I would suspect there is, if not cut. But I would say that we wait. There's no point in doing it now. I think I tweeted this, but the wise decision would be to wait. You, for several reasons, you have insurance in case you get injuries. If Chubb gets hurt, if Mixon gets hurt, which there are some injuries going around, or any of the players get hurt, you now have insurance where DP's right there. And then on the flip side of that, other teams can now have injuries. So the longer you stash him, the more time that other teams could now have injuries. And we see it every year. Like, if you play fantasy football, like, you draft this running back in the first couple rounds and tears his ACL like first couple days of training camp. So we see it happen all the time. So it almost helps you to wait longer to now have a bigger market and people that are desperate. So and then also it gives you the chance that maybe he is, what some people think he is, and beats Chubb out. So I would suspect he gets traded, but I think that we would wait towards the end of training camp for those reasons. Let's see what we got. Shout out Engineer. He says Super Bowl this year, Garrett. I believe it, dude. Like, I mean, I'm sure y'all have noticed, like, I'm kind of like ramping it up. Like, I was kind of like humble, like, all right, last year we got, we got humbled like as an organization and fans had these changes. I was like, okay, we'll be good. We'll be good. We had the draft. Okay, we're gonna be real good. Seeing the OT, I was like, all right, man, like we're gonna have a top 3 defense, if not like it's like us and Philly. I think this defense can be like historically great. Like I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, but I mean, it's not because I'm just like a dumbass and just saying it, but like I see this shit and I believe it, dude. Is D'Amico Ryan's an elite defensive game planner in his 3rd year in this defense now. And a lot of the guys we have, it's now their 2nd year in this defense, 2nd and 3rd. And we saw what they did last year with injuries. We now have more depth. They've been stacking up depth. We're like wondering, oh, why do we get another safety? Why do we get another corner? Why do we get that? Why do we get another edge? Yeah, because we need depth like all across the board, bro. And yeah, so the defense is going to be, I think, have a chance to be historically great, honestly. And we have to remember too, this is the way D'Amico Ryans wants to build a team and wants to win. And I feel like we forget this, and it's frustrating, especially during these first 2 years, especially during last year, because this is how I came up with my name, Stressins, because he will lean on his defense. Like, if it comes down to it, like if it's getting down to crunch time and he has a decision whether to punt or go for it, basically whether to say, hey, I want to put the onus on the offense to win it or the defense. He's picking defense every time. And like, it's frustrating. And maybe that'll change if the offense can show that they can do some things. But, that's how he wants to win. And like, I get that, like, we're programmed and trained, especially like recently with like this era of fantasy and betting. And you want points, 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 points. But like, a win is a win, bro. Like 3-0 or 30-0 or 33-30. Like, it doesn't matter. And D'Amico looks at it that way too. So it can be frustrating. And that's not like saying like I'm not agreeing with all of his decisions on going for it, not going for it. I definitely have had some criticisms for him on that. And honestly, we'll see too. Maybe some of that was just the relationship between him and Bobby, whether he delegated some of that to him or not, or who knows. But and he's probably still learning as a coach as well. But it's the point still stands is that the way he wants to win is with dominant defense and a run game. Nick Caley, and like I'm really like learning this, and it's being hammered home more and more and more. Like we tried to be a run team with that wide zone with Sullick, but that shit did not work. I think it's that the scheme takes time to implement into like your personnel, so it's advanced and takes time to build. And also your personnel has to fit. We didn't have the finesse, agile linemen. We had the big mauler guys asking them to do stuff, asking them to think too much. Like it just wasn't a good fit. But now we have, from what it seems, Nick Caley coming from LA and having background with McDaniels and New England, it's pointing towards gap scheme. And all the linemen we got are big MFers, dude. Like these are big guys meant to block the guy in front of you and just run through your face. That's it. I mean, cut all the bullshit about thinking and this and that. Like, yeah, you can get creative with your schemes, but it's none of that like finesse shit. It's like it's man-to-man football. And that was a big part of why we struggled last year was we tried this wide zone running, and you basically run lateral behind the line of scrimmage for X amount of yards. So now you're much more increased to get tackled for a loss, and you're running the ball every first and second down. So now you're, 2nd and 10 or 2nd and 13 off a run play. Now you're, 3rd and 14 off 2 negative run plays. We're the worst team in the league on like run efficiency. Basically, we couldn't move the ball forward. But now, solely just from changing the play call to when you get the ball, you're already running forward, we should have less of those. Coupled with, okay, now it suits these linemen. You'll get better blocking. Coupled with, it fits Joe Mixon better. He's a bruiser. It fits Nick Chubb better. He's a bruiser. So, like, I was really thinking about this today, just watching Nick Chubb talk. Like, it hit me too. Like, I made the tweet about Nick Chubb and Joe Mixon. Again, we'll get to the interview, but like, Nick Chubb talked about how they're basically the same style. Like they're physical downhill runners. And it's funny to me because most of the time, like when you see like a somewhat high profile tandem or duo of running backs, it's like a mix. It's a bruiser, like a Joe Mixon or a Nick Chubb, and like a flashy change of pace guy. We have 2 bruisers, dude. Like, the Texans are telling us what they want to do. Like we talk about swarm and mentality on defense. D'Amico is finally, he delegated that shit the first 2 years. Now he's like, all right, I'm freaking gonna have some influence. Like, I'm gonna tell you the type of players that I want on offense too. That needs to match defense. Like, you got Nico, a 6'4", 220 receiver. You go out and draft another one in Jaden Higgins. Those are two big imposing receivers. And then now you have Joe Mixon. You go get another Joe Mixon and Nick Chubb. So you have, these big maulers. All the linemen you got are like, their weight, they're big, paws. So like they have like a vision with this offense. And, what I was thinking was, one, we should be better on those early down runs and have less negative runs and more positive runs. And two, the run game will be more efficient. And now that play action, bro, like it's going to hit way more. If the run game works, play action will be way more effective. And now if you're in second and medium, third and medium, now you can have the option where the defense doesn't know whether it's a pass or run, as opposed to, the first 2 years, especially last year, every freaking third down was third and long. So of course they knew it was pass. So they would just bring the house or do whatever. Now it's like, okay, if it's 3rd and 5 and you blitz, I'm gonna hit a dump off and kill you. So you can kind of see that's the vision they have. That's the vision D'Amico has, and I think you can still score a lot of points that way. It just kind of like it depends on the game script and the flow, but I think we'll still score a lot of points. But it's just going to be a different way of doing it. It's not going to be just. I mean, I say that, but I don't know. Like we've talked about it too. We have the personnel to go 5 wide, and Nick Caley's talked about being a game plan offense like the Patriots were, and it could be week to week based off your opponent. So, I mean, yeah, it could be anything, but I think we will have the ability to run like that. But we will also have the ability in 2-minute drills, if we get behind, or if we're playing a defense that's really good at stopping the run, to spread it out. We got weapons galore. I mean, you drafted not only Higgins, but also you signed Kirk and you drafted Noel. So, I mean, yeah, I'm hyped, dude. So that wasn't even a question by engineer. I just went on a tangent, but I'm super hyped. And I'm also super hyped because the Pacers are about to beat the Thunder. Let's go. Forever Royal says the Chubb Mixon duo might have defenders rethinking their career choices. Facts. And so that's part of it too, is like you could now play this. This is how D'Amico wants to play, bro. Like he wants to play a boring, methodical game. He wants to play field position, move the chains on offense. If it's 3rd and whatever or 4th and whatever, punt, pin them deep, get the ball back, kick field goals, or now you put them and make the other team desperate on offense and get them to start doing crazy stuff where you can take advantage. But yeah, and then now over the duration of a game, you have Mixon and Chubb running downhill duo gap scheme concepts and just punishing you. And come 3rd, 4th quarter, if we have a 1 to 2 score lead, we're going to see some of those 8+ minute drives where we just run the clock out. And that's like, it's boring as hell, but like, that's how you freaking win, bro. Like, it's the opposite of Madden. Like, it's not about being fair. Like, I'm trying to like do whatever it takes to win. So I think we'll see a lot of that. And that's what he wants to do. Forrest says 85% of his old self. That's a win, in my opinion. Facts. Emac says Sarge always hating, nothing new. Nah, Sarge, man. I don't see everything, but and Sarge is a friend of the show. He's been on the show. We had a great convo. I don't know his take on Chubb. Brandon says Chubb 1,400 yards incoming. That would be crazy, dude. Engineer, 2nd year was rose-colored glasses. This year we are realistic. If the O-line is top 18, we are a Super Bowl caliber team. Facts. I agree with the first part of that statement. Second part, too, is the whole key is the O-line. And this is what I said last year. Defense is elite, Super Bowl caliber. Offense was below average. All they need to be was average to slightly above average to be a contender. And like what's crazy is like I can see this offense being elite, bro. Like defense is elite. If offense can be elite, that's crazy. But as engineer says, it all goes to the O-line. And I get the concerns, and I get you look at last year, and then you look at the guys we got, and they weren't good here and they weren't good there. Like I'm way more high on the O-line than people are. Engineer says, I'm tired of the media being so intentionally biased against the Texans. Stroud. How are we so down on Stroud when Mahomes crumbled under the same pressure during the Super Bowl game? Yeah, that's crazy, dude. Like for the first time in his career, he had the same amount of pressure that CJ Stroud had the entire season. And Mahomes had like one of the worst games ever. it was like games or halves. He had like one of the worst games or halves, not only in the Super Bowl, but like ever. He was playing terrible. So yeah, I agree. But you know what? It's probably better though. And like I've noticed the media has been like down on Stroud. And we've talked about on here too, like, last year we were overhyped by media and fans and whatever. And so now it's like people like feel burned and it's like this overcorrection, like, oh, they're terrible. It's like, nah, bro, like the whole time we've been here, and actually we're like up here. And so, but like that being said, having experienced both sides of the pendulum there, being overhyped and underhyped, I'll take being underhyped all day as a fan. And I'm sure the team will too. Like it takes because you kind of get affected by it. Like, it gets to your head. Like we saw Stroud, like all the podcasts, and where this year he's not doing that. So that's kind of part of it too. Like, he kind of got humbled probably a little bit himself and learned that, like, all right, I need to lock in. But like to me, like he's the same fucking guy, dude. Like it blows my mind that people got weak on him and started to question it. There was a point last year where people thought, is this guy the guy? People were thinking about moving on from him. Like, what are we doing, bro? Like, once someone shows you like that elite level that he showed his first year, like that's it. Like, like this is the guy. He is a guy. That's just from his play on the field. Not to mention, if you listen to this guy talk, like he is mature. He knows football. He loves it. Like he wants to be great. Like this is like what he was dreamed and destined to be, bro. Like he has it all. Like, yeah, I'm getting too hype. I'm sorry. Um, Trevor Royal says I'm riding with OKC because Oklahoma don't have an NFL team and it's F the Colts respectfully. Okay, I can take that logic. Gamer G, Texans fan. I think we gonna run and gun this year. With the run, been downhill instead of zone. Yeah, and like I think it can feed off each other. Yeah, I'm excited, dude. The offense, regardless, I feel like we are more well equipped to have more variety of packages that can attack defenses in a multitude of ways. So rather than being one dimensional, we're multi-dimensional. And that's why these early interviews we've heard about, trying this O lineman here, this O lineman here, this receiver here, this receiver here, you do this, you do that. Like, because we're trying all kind of shit, bro. It's not like we're doing this and you do that and you do that and that's it. Like, no, dude, like this is innovative. It's you're not going to handcuff yourself. Will Monroe, was this offseason's goal for the O-line to raise the floor and not the ceiling? I don't know exactly what that means, but I think, as far as the O-line goes, like the bar is pretty damn low. So that's part of the argument too. When people have talking about last year's O-line versus this year's O-line, it won't take much to be better than last year. And again, we talked about scheme, coaching, personnel, all factors. But culture was a big part of it. Like whether we want to believe it or not, like, like the little shit that sounds corny, like picking up the fucking quarterback when he gets hit on the ground, like that shit fucking matters, dude. And we talked about it here. D'Amico talked about it last week or whenever it was. Like this sounds corny, but like he said he already noticed a difference in like the attitude and the culture, where he talked of an example where they went from one drill to another, but it was for inside to outside. But rather than all five or whatever O linemen, walking there casually, individually, like they all stopped, waited, and walked as a unit. Like that shit sounds cheesy, but like that stuff collectively, day by day, makes a big difference. And the O line is the biggest position group as far as needing the most continuity. You're all right there next to each other. Receivers, you're across the field. DBs, linebackers, D line is similar. And you're having to communicate, which was the biggest freaking issue we had last year. There was no continuity. It was a bunch of individuals. The communication was dog shit. All the pressures we saw was because, oh, I thought you said this, and I like, oh shit, my bad, dog. No, dude, like you got to be on the same fucking page. And like, if your brother messes up, you got to be there to pick him up. Like, and if your quarterback gets hit, you got to be there to pick him up. So that's the O-line part. Jordan says, I've said it before on live streams, but I'm not sure what he said there. The rest of it. Will says, can you talk about each position group and who is looking on the inside of the roster and on the outside of the roster looking in? I know it's a big ask, but genuine curiosity. I mean, maybe not the whole roster, but so you're talking about, one second, let me get a sip of this wine. You're talking about, camp battles. So that would basically be Pacers one. Let's go. camp battles would be, I mean, obviously a lot of the guys that are on the bubble, and so like I get to like we as fans like certain players and get emotionally attached, and like when other fans or analysts or whatever like suggest this player might be on the chopping block, it becomes like an attack. It's like so when I suggest someone may be on the bubble, I base it off of one from what I see on the field how they play, two the actions of the organization, D'Amico and Nick Caserio, what they've done with them on the field, and then what they've done with that position outside of that. So, prime example, Dameon Pierce. He was always on the bubble to me. The fact that they went and got Nick Chubb, that tells us what they think of him. Like, I mean, yes, it could change, and yes, we should hold on to him until the end of camp. But like, as it stands now, like that tells you where it is. Like, and regardless of what they would say, like their actions are telling us one thing. So, Dameon Pierce, obviously, I don't know if you would cut him. So, yeah, you shouldn't cut him, but potentially getting traded. Christian Harris, same boat, potentially getting traded. Like, um, you know, Henry To'oTo'o took his spot last year. I know he was injured, but he was back. He's still not practicing now. I'm sure it's the same as these other guys. You're just, nursing them along. But I mean, so that's a potential there. That's a big position battle. And you signed EJ Speed. That's an action. Okay, EJ Speed is a lot of people think he's just some special teamer, but like the guy's been a starter the past 2 years and like had crazy high tackle numbers. So to me, that's not just some scrub. And his contract, the way it's structured, like Pro Bowl escalators, stuff like that. Like that's like someone you think may start. So, so that's definitely some. And then Mechie, at receiver. So it's funny. It's all those guys in that same draft class. And also too by actions, I made a tweet about this. So whatever draft class that was, what year was that? 2022. Basically, Derek Stingley, Jalen Petrie, and who was the other out of that draft class? Kenyon Green, he was traded, but Derek Stingley and Jalen Petrie, they got extensions. And so, that tells you. So by them giving them extensions and then not Dameon Pierce, not John Mechie, not Christian Harris, that means, hey, like these guys we want here. These guys we don't know. So I mean, like that tells you right there. And obviously receiver will be Mechie, Hutchinson could be on the bubble. You added Justin Watson, you added Braxton Berrios, so that'll be a big position battle there. I think those are the biggest ones. I mean, the most notable names, honestly. And then Brad LaFleur says, how's that line looking? So I'm not at practice. I can only watch from what I see, which isn't a lot online. And, look at what the reports are from the reporters like DJ Bieneme from ESPN and Jonathan Alexander from the Chronicle. They both have kind of said that yesterday the O-line didn't look great, especially the tackles. Mostly the tackles, obviously going against Will Anderson Jr. and Daniil Hunter. So that alone, everyone's going to look bad. But two, you're not in pads, so like you can't really, weigh too much into it. I would weigh more into like the little corny shit I talked about, like continuity, chemistry, guys getting tried at different spots, the little shit like technique, and it's hard for us to really tell that. So you can only go off what you hear. But they did say that today they looked better. Like they didn't look like world beaters. They looked better. So to me, I think it's fine. I guess we'll see and hear about it during training camp. Gamer G says 13-4 AFC champs. I'm with it. Let's go. Forrest says the Knicks mix. And then he says, have you found out the duo nickname yet? LOL. No, man, I got a lot of good replies on that. There's some good ones. Maybe I'll do a poll and maybe one will emerge on its own. Engineer says Stroud is a top 5 QB, future Hall of Famer with the top 3 defense. No way we don't get an AFC championship minimum. Facts. That's where I'm at, dude. Like, I mean, call us crazy, but shit. Jeremy 26. What do you think of Mechie chances opportunity to load a wide receiver room? Yeah, I think he's done, bro. I mean, I love him. And again, too, you see all these clips, and us fans are overanalyzing. It may not be everything that we see, but like obviously the bad shit sticks out. But like there was a clip the other day where he made a drop on a drill, which is dumb. But I think even like regardless of what we've seen on clips where he's been critiqued for certain things and whether he's right or wrong or playing bad or not, just from the nature of the room. And just like I mentioned too, like the actions of the organization, like they didn't extend him. and then you go and draft someone who plays the same position, slot receiver, and you sign one. So it's like, to me, the writing's on the wall. Like, he would have to have a crazy camp, but like, what would all of a sudden just click? Um, and honestly, like, I feel like, you know, once he was cured from cancer, like, oh, he's back, he should be good. Like, no, bro, like that shit, especially as like a receiver, like a skill position where it's like running and athletic ability. Like, I'm sure he's like probably just now getting back to himself. Like, that shit probably takes a while to flush out of your body, dude. Engineer says, also, I think the organizations have strengths at certain positions, and the Texans are top two at drafting. Wide receiver Luther Burden is already injured, which further shows the Texans eval wide receiver. Oh, he is? Yeah, dude, I was not high on him at all. I'm glad we avoided him. I thought he was a screen merchant. That's crazy he's hurt. Engineer says Higgins is going to be a top 10 receiver this season. I can see it, bro. Engineer says Larry rubbed me the wrong way when last offseason there was a video of Wilderson going up to him to learn something, and Laramie was just smirking about laughing, responding to him. Yeah, and I mean, who knows the context of that, but yeah. Whereas now you got Trent Brown basically being a coach out there, coaching up the young guys. Will Monroe, who's making the roster. I think, we can look at that a little later. Forrest says, let me take a sip of this wine. Proceeds, cope. I feel your brother. Yeah, I'm going to need some more too. I didn't really get much I get cotton mouth because I'm crazy and I got a bunch of shit going through my head. I just want to say it all really fast. Two, I try and say it all fast so you don't have to stay on here forever, which we do anyways. And three, it's for the podcast. I don't want to have dead air. So, which, by the way, I'm terrible at plugging my shit. Website, HoustonStressens.com on the bottom. Free newsletter. Sign up. I try to send it weekly. Articles, videos. I got a store, all that good shit. Follow me on X, TikTok, and YouTube at Texans Commenter. On Instagram and Facebook, follow me at Houston Stressens. And then I also repost this on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So please, even if you aren't on all those platforms, and if you have them, please like, comment, subscribe, follow, 5-star review in the podcast. It would help a lot. I got some stuff on my site that I'm ramping out soon to make it more interactive, to bring the community in. I think it'll be good. And then I forgot where I was going with that, but yeah, YouTube's been growing. Shout out YouTube. I'm like 200 watch hours away from being eligible from super chats. And for whatever reason, I use this platform right here. It's called Restream, where I can connect it all together. My TikTok isn't working, which pisses me off. And then now they aren't working with Instagram, which pisses me off. So right now I'm only going live from X, Facebook, and YouTube. But hopefully most of y'all are on the other ones and come to here to watch. So, but yeah, it's growing, man. It's been great. Trying to get some big interviews. I got tomorrow. We got an impromptu live show at 2 p.m. with I believe he's a former NFL lineman, but he's like a renowned offensive lineman analyst. Y'all are gonna love it. It's gonna be crazy, dude. I'm gonna learn so much. I got a million questions for this guy, and I'm gonna basically get him to say that the Texans O-line will be good next year. I'm gonna find a way to make him say that regardless. Let's see. Engineer says Hutchinson should be the last wide receiver. He came up clutch last season. Could become a version of Juwan Jennings. Yeah, man. Like, as much as like you want to try to hate on him, like, he did come up clutch. And like, again too, I guess in his case with this new offense with Kaylee, he could find a better way to utilize that bigger body receiver. So that could be part of it as well. Forrest said, so what's the word on Noel? Is he injured or taking it easy on a strain? I have no idea. He's been off to the side, is what Aaron Wilson has been reporting. So, again, given the nature of how they handle things, I would first say that they are being extra cautious, like probably not something major. So we went through this with CJ. Let's just give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm sure questions will arise whenever, but they're about to go on break. I'm sure he's fine. It could have been like a tweak or something. But who knows? We'll see. He'll be fine. And Christian Kirk is balling out. So we'll be good. Let's see. Nash Shahid says the Texans' main task this upcoming season is to beat the Baltimore Ravens. I'm with that, dude. Beat the Ravens. Please. Please, please, please. I'm with it. Ethan Weber. What's up, brother? Says Daniil Hunter. I hate that I say "What's up, brother." Sound like what's his name? Twitch. What's his name? What Sketch? Why did I? That was legit. I had a brain fart. I wasn't like some old guy shit. Ethan Weber says the Neil Hunter looked even scarier with the 5 pounds of muscle added. Facts. So I'm about to go through the timeline. That shit is crazy. Um, Forrest, hey brother, no matter how long you take, we're here for you with everything you do for us. Appreciate that. Ethan says, also, are you worried about the Rams? I feel like they're going to be scary after adding Devontae Adams. Stafford is clutch. One advantage I think we'll have is that Nick Kelly knows. Yeah, that's going to be one of our tougher games. I mean, I'm super high on the Rams. Sean McVay, Super Bowl winning coach. That's a good point about Kaylee. We kind of have, an edge there potentially. But I mean, we talked about on here, like the Rams, had a chance to beat the Eagles. They almost beat the Eagles on the last play of the game against them um, in Philly in the playoffs in a blizzard, and they came barely short from completing a pass on fourth down with no time left to like on the 5 yard line. And then we saw the Eagles go demolish the Commanders, and then obviously the Chiefs. And so like the Rams are legit, bro. Like yeah, that'll be a tough one. I'm not scared, but like it'll be tough. And it's week 1. Like if we lose, whatever, dude. But I think we can win the game. And then Engineer says we have depth at every position. Thank God. Forever Royals got the laughing emoji. All right, I'm gonna get some more wine and a water. I'm gonna put on this video. Do not leave, or unless you want to go take a bathroom break. I'm gonna come back and we're gonna go through the timeline and go through basically all the highlights, and we'll go through like the interviews, my favorite stuff to do. Watch all the sound bites. I'll be right back. Yo, you awake? This thing on? I figured I'd just bring the whole bottle out here. I don't know if y'all drink wine. I'm a basic white dude. I like cab. Like a nice cab, Decoy is a good, solid cab. Shout out Decoy if you want to sponsor, hit me up. I'm wearing a Callaway shirt if you want to sponsor me, Callaway. Forrest says, take a bathroom break. Hell, where do you think I'm watching this? Hey, I'm not judging, dude. Where do you think half my content comes from? On the toilet all my best content comes from the throne, dude. Yeah, Decoy and a bad one. That's right, John. If you got any wrecks on a nice cab, like, I got a pretty boring palate. Like, I'm not like a huge drinker, but like I'll drink, wine. For me, it's like become a habit on here. Like last 2-3 shows I've done it, it's like, oh, I need a glass of wine. But like when I do drink, I like the older I've gotten, like all that sweet stuff. Like I can't drink sweet drinks. Like even margaritas, dude. Like that shit like messes up my mouth. Like I just like want something like bland almost, which is a cab to me is kind of bland. It's boring, but my favorite drink, this is dumb, I don't know why I'm telling y'all don't freaking care, is ranch water, tequila, topo, and a little bit of lime juice. Like that shit is bomb, dude. Especially like a nice Blanco tequila. That's like my go-to drink. So, but yeah, Engineer says the first 2 games of the season might be shootouts. That's facts. But yeah, let's go through the old timeline and see what's cooking here. Let's see. Pull up the timeline. All right, we're in. Oh shit, I forgot about CD, dude. He's God. CD. I can't remember what he said he wants to be called. Is it CJ? Obviously, it's CJ Gardner Johnson, but he said that he wants to be called a certain name, and I need to figure it out before I ever like talk to him one day and piss him off. But dude, he's gonna be electric on this team. He's already a great personality, and so I get some people might be concerned about having someone who's a big extrovert like this, I guess I should say. But like if you see it for what it is, like you shouldn't be scared or threatened by it. Like so, as far as like the Texans' perspective and D'Amico Ryans and the team, like yes, he can be considered like a loud or like extra personality or whatever you want to call it. Like I'm not saying it in a negative way at all. Like a big personality. Yes, you can like see that potentially be a bad thing and bleed over, but like if you have a good enough foundation, it's like being insecure and not like if you're secure with your team, then you know that you can, handle a big personality like that. So like, you know, and so if that's the case, like we can enjoy this. Like this dude's fucking hilarious, dude. Like he's dynamite. Like content, like half my shit is him. Like he's fucking hilarious. Like I need to get a live stream with him. It'd be dope, dude. Like he is cool as fuck. But yeah, so he said, here, let me play the video real quick.
They say everything bigger in Texas. Won't see another ring without Philly. That's crazy. They probably won't see one without me. Fuck you talking about? You saw have when I left. I'm pop it now. Fuck y'all talking about. I'm glad I'm in Texas. They say everything bigger in Texas. Booty, beers, and bottles.
Let's fucking go, dude. He don't give a fuck. So he's on live on media day, just like, oh, what's up? Yeah, I'm on live. Like, he don't give a shit. He's like on a golf cart with like an employee, and it's like, hey, what's up, girl? Yeah, just on live talking shit to Eagles fans. And then he says everything's bigger in Texas: beers, booties, and bottles. That's fucking awesome, dude. Hilarious. I was trying not to cuss, but when you're just watching shit like that, it's pretty funny. Let's see on the chat. DQ, shout out DQ. He says Nick Chubb gonna shock the league like Saquon Barkley did with the Eagles. I feel it coming. Pause. That would be crazy. I mean, I don't know about that, but and we don't even need that. We got Mixon too, but I mean, I think that would be dope. I think he'll be good too, though. John, my recommendation for wine: get the cheap stuff. This decoy is not bad. It's like it's like $20, I think. And then Dot on X says, you think Texans could trade for Kyle Pitts? I don't know. I mean, like I used to be like that old conservative mindset, like, oh, they won't do that. They got this and that. They, but like you don't have enough money, you don't have assets, like, but like now, like I've completely flipped, like I've talked about over and over again. I've completely flipped my entire mindset on all this stuff. Like normally I would have thought they would have never gotten Chubb, but like now that they've conveyed since D'Amico and Nick, since the Kansas City Chiefs lost, like they are going to do whatever they can to win. I won't rule anything out, bro. Nah, Shahid says CJGJ is going to go crazy this season. Facts, dude. It's going to be awesome. Forever Royal says, try the 3-wheel motion at Papado. Okay, that's good to know. And by the way, like, do any of y'all like? I would like to do like an event. Like, obviously, we have like the watch parties, but like a happy hour or a meetup would be dope. Or I was even thinking too. So, I played football at SFA and then Incarnate Word, and I started it was like an alumni foundation, but it's a 501c3 nonprofit where we're basically a booster club for the UIW football team. It's called the Forever First Foundation. And I've been hosting like an annual golf tournament for them. This year will be the 13th annual one. It's next Saturday. But I was kind of thinking like before the show, because I was just working on the golf tournament, like that would be dope. Like if there's any golfers in here, had like a golf outing, like met up at East River 9, or we could even do like a fundraiser, like because I have experience doing it. Like it's not that hard to do, and we could like find a cause to donate to. I don't know. Just think about that. I think it'd be dope. Like whether it's golf tournament, if y'all want to meet up for a happy hour. If y'all want to do some kind of something, let me know in the chat or hit me up in the DMs or let me know. Because I mean, I kind of realized that in my last interview with Dr. Chona, he kept I caught on to him like saying this, like he was like I could tell like he was like blown away by he kept saying community, like he was like, and he told me after, he's like, yeah, it was awesome, like the interaction, the chat, like I guess like to me, like I've become used to it. Like obviously y'all talking here, but like I'm talking to y'all, everyone all day online. Like I respond to anybody who asks a question that I can. And I guess I didn't realize like, yeah, this is a community. Like we're all freaking friends, bro. Like, and and like, I've said this too, like with the content creator series, which I will be bringing back soon. There's still plenty of other local Houston Texans content creators that I want to highlight. My schedule's just been kind of crazy lately, but I'll be resuming that here. Maybe just knocking out a bunch of them just to try and before the season, like give everyone their shine that deserves it. But in that series and like talking to those people like I've talked about. That's been like my favorite thing is like I've met all these people. It was kind of like for me, honestly, too, like when I played football, like you get put into scenarios or situations where you maybe wouldn't interact with somebody, whether it's because of, I don't know, just your different background or whatever, but you meet all kinds of different walks of life. And I feel like that's what I've done here. Like, that's what we all do on here. Like, like maybe us that talk on here or talk on X or whatever probably would have never met or probably wouldn't have talked in a different setting. So, anyways, like I love the community. Dr. Chona, made me realize that's what this is. And I was like, I guess like I'm just so like ingrained in it. Like I didn't even like take a step back to realize like, oh shit, like this is fucking dope, dude. Like, but yeah, so that being said, it would be cool to kind of get something going. Like we all got one thing in common. That's we fucking love the Texans. Booty, beers, and bottles. Let's go CD. King Colby says it's like we finally might have a good defense and good offense in the same season for once. Let's go. Facts. Brandon says Lions didn't get as far when CJ left either. That's true. And then Aneta, that is my wife. That's fucking hilarious. She says, can you put the wine back in the kitchen? My bad. Hold on one second. I'm in trouble. That's funny. You're on. I didn't know you were still drinking. Damn, y'all got me in trouble, bro. That's fucking funny. Hashtag stressing. God, my wife is awesome. Nosh says, you sounded like Nick Casario for a split second. What did I say? Like my voice or just the way I was talking? I'll take that as a compliment, man. He cooks. Forrest says, I will drive from Longview, Texas to come play golf. Get it together. Hell yeah. That's dope, dude. Says we are Texans family. Facts. Yeah, I think that would be cool. Like, if we could it's like call it Texans community, and it could be like you could focus it around like a charity. Like we could all like and everything. It's inclusive. Like we could all vote on like, hey, what's something we all want to do? That's maybe it's flag football or youth football or whatever it may be. And but it's like twofold. Like we get together and raise money for whatever the cause is we want, but then we can try and have like a mixer meetup before. I don't know, it'd be dope. Jeremy says, what does a tight end competition look like? I mean, again, I'm not there at practice. I can only go off what I see from reporters or clips online. But I mean, it sounds like obviously I would assume Schultz is. I think we're going to see Schultz, Stover, and Brevin Jordan probably pretty equally. As low on Schultz as most of the people are, I feel like he's still a pretty damn good tight end. Had an off year and should have a rebound this year. I think he still should be the tight end one and probably will be, but I don't think it's going to be like he's like 100% of the snaps. It'd be like 60% of the snaps, or that's just a guess by me. So, anyways, back to the timeline. So, I'm going to play the full clip of the CD video. It was off his live, by the way, and shout out Product from the H. He's the one who clipped it on his IG, and I took it from
y'all do? Damn. Y'all think I give a fuck and I got a ring? See, I like popping shit at my fans because it be the same fans that be on that weird shit. Y'all just mad because I got that blue on with that 2-3 on. Why they hating on us? Why they hating on us? Why they hating? Why they hating? People say hate. All right, bet.
I'll say this though, like I love people like CD because I'm like kind of a square sometimes and like get stuck in like, oh, don't talk to this person, like, oh, like stay in your own lane. Like he's like the ultimate icebreaker. Like he will loosen the fucking mood. Like you need people like him to like, because we all get so caught up in like being all serious about shit all the time. Like I'm the worst. So I have friends like him that I love, like, and people are like surprised, like, why are you friends with him? He's so different. But yeah, but like I need that. I need people to like that can make me realize like, hey, bro, like get the fuck over yourself and just fucking laugh. Like no one cares what you think or if you're like this or like, so like this right there, like, I mean, he's chilling, dude. Like I admire and I envy people like him that don't give a fuck. Like they just, They do what they want when they want. They don't care what people think. Like, to me, it's admirable.
You know how that goes. Wah, wah. Hey, y'all follow my social medias? Yeah, we got you. No, y'all don't. Y'all do? Dang.
They don't give a fuck.
Hey, I'm going to tell y'all that now. You won't see another ring without Philly. That's crazy. They probably won't see one without me. The fuck you talking about? You saw have when I left. I'm going to pop it now. Fuck y'all talking about. I'm glad I'm in Texas. They say everything big in Texas. Booty, beers, and bottles. Wow. Oh, that's my big.
This is him walking up to CJ right here.
Wow. Oh, that's my big brother from Twin. Why you got the breads on? Why you do them like that?
Hey, oh shit! I just saw that Jahad Campbell, linebacker on the Packers. He commented on there, "Stop crying." Or that's probably a fucking kid fan page. I'm an idiot.
That's the best quarterback in the game right now.
That's the best quarterback in the game right
now. That's CJ Stroud.
All right, that was dope. We'll go back through the timeline. CD is a gold mine. Texans cap updated. Salary cap post Nick Chubb signing is $12.8 million. And then on the comments, Nosh says this man is unhinged. LMAO. I don't know if it's unhinged. Is like and again, like I talked about, like as long as you can handle it, and like he's just chilling. He's just being himself. Wow, Spartacus, have you ever been more excited for a training camp? Nope. Every year I get more and more excited, but this is definitely the best we've looked. So yeah, we had CJ Stroud throwing. So this is Monday. Finally, collective sigh of relief for, I guess most of us were chilling, but it still was nice to see. And then let's see this here. Back shoulder fade. That is a back shoulder fade. This is red zone. And I saw there was a comment on my post on one of these, and people were arguing whether it's a good throw or not. This is a good throw. So red zone, fade route. Like you see the balls in the air. Like right now, like, do you want to throw it here? Maybe. Where's all there's grass right here. So if the defender is, chasing him this way, if you throw him back this way, that's money. I mean, you can also do back shoulders that are like more of a line drive and hit him like on the hip or the whatever. But this is still a good ball and a good catch, a good adjustment. Boom. Fucking snag, bro. What? I know it's warm-ups, but fuck, dude. One-handed snag? Athlete, dude. Boy, Nick Chubb, first practice at Texan. Boy, thick. 3 C's. No diddy. And then we got, here's Nico in the red zone. Same drill. Back shoulder fade. Yeah, it's a back shoulder. So that one, the first one to Higgins maybe had a little too much loft. Like this one was a little flatter. But I mean, that's but it's also a drill. Like the quarterback's working on his throw and the receiver is working on him running and then reacting. And when this is the drill. When they do the drill, they said, hey, we're going to throw the back shoulder fade. More likely what's going on here. But as far as, now when you go in the game, it's more often than not a feel. Like now it's basically an option. Like, okay, if the defender is way off and taking away like the actual vertical, then I throw the back shoulder. Or if he's pressing, then I'll throw over the top vertical. So, but you work on the different parts. And then now when it happens, and you can maybe do another drill where, hey, I'm going to do one or the other and y'all react. So it's for the receiver and the quarterback individually to work on how they do each, but then also the chemistry of like knowing together and being on the same page. But this I suspect is like, this is a back shoulder drill.
Nice. Great job.
That's fucking nasty, dude. God, that's a great back shoulder throw. That's a great throw. Don't let people tell you it's a bad throw. That's what they're doing. And that is a fucking great adjustment by Nico. This is stupid. This is some dumb drill. But like a 6'4" receiver with this hand-eye coordination, this reaction ability, body control. Look at the feet. Golly, dude. Sells a vertical. Boop, back shoulder. Another fucking one-hander, dude. You kidding me? So we have two of those. We have Nico and Higgins. We just saw them back to back. They both made one-handed catches. A lot of receivers, one, won't catch that with one hand. Two, can't get to it because they're not as long. So now this back shoulder fade, like CJ can just fucking throw it way the fuck away from the defender because he knows his receiver's fucking 6'4" and is a tarantula and can catch it. And so red zone was a big woe for us last year. We now have two targets on either side. You're going to have to single cover one of them more likely than not. And when you do, we're going to fucking throw him a back shoulder fade or a slant or a jump ball, whatever, dude. I mean, shit. I'm getting hyped too much hype again. So got a CJ between. Let's see. Didn't really see much there. But yeah, so I kind of like got the two videos and spliced them together. It's kind of dope when you do it simultaneous. Wop, wop. That kind of shows you what we got cooking right now. And then Nosh says, which games you attending? All of them, bro. Pretty much every home game. And then I'll probably go to at least one or two away games. And then Dot says, do you think we give Tank Dell an extension due to all his injuries? I haven't really like dove into it. I think it's a wait and see thing based off of the injury and talking to Dr. Chona. I mean, he kind of reiterated what a lot of us think is, yes, he probably could potentially maybe come back late this year, but it wouldn't be smart for him, honestly, because he would have a chance of re-injuring himself, and then there would still be a ramp up. It would and it's going to be a double-edged sword for him because he's, a mental alpha competitor is going to want to come back, and he could be his own worst enemy in that sense by coming back too soon. But it's probably best for him to wait, and then he'll have 1 year left, and it'll be a contract year, and he'll probably have to prove it. But who knows? I really don't even want to think about that combo right now, but I don't think that they would give him an extension. And I think he would understand too, like you can't extend someone come off an injury. So he would have to prove it that last year and then get an extension, which could definitely happen. Forever Royal, how you feel about Stroud saying Gerard having more input with the QBs and how certain things are intertwined? I love it. We'll get to it too. It'll come up on here. I'm already an hour and 20 minutes in and I haven't gone through too much, but we'll get to the clip and we'll go over that. But I love it. JJ Sugar, the hype is justifiable, so I can't fault you. Appreciate that, man. So it's not the Kool-Aid, huh? And that's my thing too. Like I talked to AO Texans Nation last year when I was at the season ticket holder event, which I didn't go to this year, but I met him and we were talking, and I was like telling him how confident I felt last year, which I mean, you see why we did. And I was like, yeah, but I don't want to get burned because, I know how it normally goes in Houston. He's like, nah, dude, like, fuck that. Like, if you feel confident, say it. So, like, I've kind of, like, embraced that mindset. And it's also, too, like, I mean, I get it as a defense mechanism for people to, like, temper their expectations. But it's like, if you actually think we're good and you like the team and then you tell yourself not to like the team, to tell yourself we're not going to be good. And then what if we do end up winning the Super Bowl and the whole time you're like, no. And then you do it. And then you probably look back and like, fuck, that whole time I could have like really enjoyed my fandom, but I was so scared. Who gives a shit? Like if you believe it, then fucking like relish it. Like I'd relish this shit every day. I'm like, fuck yeah, badass play. Fuck yeah, CJ Stroud, he looks good. Like say it, dude. Like it's fine to think it. Like, I mean, I get like if this was like the Texans 2 years ago and you're thinking that, yeah, you're a fucking idiot, but like, I agree. Like if the hype is justified. So, engineer says what 6'7" wingspan does to a QB. Yeah, dude. I mean, makes it so much easier for Stroud. Nosh says, I doubt it. No need to risk that. I'm not sure what you're talking about. He says Taliban Slulik with the common denominator all along. But yeah, going back to the timeline. So Landry Locker, shout out Landry, does a great job covering the team. Says Higgins, this is Monday, putting on a show in 7-on-7. He had a one-handed catch for 30-plus yards on the sideline. And then followed by Mills hitting him on a slant across the middle for 15 plus yards. So we'll see the videos too. But it's kind of cool to kind of go through it. Again, Monday, Sarge said Jalen Smith, the rookie out of USC, is having a good day. That's great to hear. And then Wexler kind of talked through the same thing. Shout out Wex as well. Shout out Sarge. Wex said Cade Stover had a nice catch. And then that Stroud had his fourth throw, 40-yard throw that he lofted to Higgins, and no limitations for Stroud. And that's the thing about Stroud too. Like when we were talking with, I think Deepak and Casey, or I think it was the coach JB talked about it. Like he's not like a fucking AR Anthony Richardson like bullet thrower. Like he's one of the most accurate throwers because he can layer balls, meaning like he can like throw it over a defender and like have it drop. He has touch. He's not like this fucking guy. I'm gonna throw it hard as fuck every time. Like to me, that's just dumb as fuck. Like, okay, you throw it hard, but like you need to throw a catchable ball. And last year, Stephon Diggs, like I'm just realizing this, like he said that. He said he throws some of the most catchable balls I've ever had. Pause. But like as a receiver, like, you know, to be able to have the arm strength, but to not just like feel like you have to fuck it. Like I always hated quarterbacks who like felt like they would just throw one fucking speed. Like, oh, I'm gonna throw it hard as fuck. Like, no, dude, like every throw is different. Like if I'm wide the fuck open, just toss it in there. Like, and that's what Stroud does. So he has strength and touch. He can kind of layering it is like those. I'm thinking of like the deep 20-yard in routes where you got a backer and then a safety and then the dig where you throw it up and over, but it's not just some fucking rocket where it's flat where he'll get it, or you're not going to sail it where the safety will get it. So, and that's why you've seen him make these like insane throws in these like tight ass windows. I don't know how I got in that tangent, but you know, he's a very accurate quarterback. And like, that's the thing that I've seen and I've saw it. Like, this is who the fuck he is. Like he has the tools. I'm not going to let, you know, poor pass protection make me think, oh, does he suck? No, he doesn't fucking suck. He's fucking elite. He's a top 5 quarterback, top 3 potentially. I'm going off today, dude. I feel great. A little vino. Yeah. So keep going. It was also funny too, right after CJ Stroud threw, Cohen of the Jags head coach said Trevor Lawrence was wearing a sleeve during Tuesday's mini camp. He just had a little bit of general soreness. Oh, shit. You think the Jags fans were freaking the fuck out? I don't think so. Yeah, so that was kind of funny, that ironic, the timing of it. It's normal. Like these quarterbacks, you know, I get that you can be concerned and it could be something worse, but more often than not, when you're dealing with your franchise quarterback, even though theirs sucks and ours is way better, he's okay. I think he's overrated. And you're in June, late May. Why the fuck press it, dude? Like, it's not a big deal. Anyhow, Sarge said too that Aziz had adopted the Kamari head slap. Love it, dude. That's awesome. This defense is hype. And then Locker says, you know, he's pointed out that Trent Brown has been a great mentor, essentially coaching up Ursary. And then, you know, Monday, Aaron said on the side field was Danico Autry, Braxton Berrios, Joe Mixon, and Damian Pierce not practicing. He said Mixon out of walking boot, which we talked about, showed the videos. Shout out Silent Sarah. We talked about on Monday's show. And it sounds like that was just like a tightrope surgery where he got his ankle like basically reinforced, which is a pretty common surgery, and come back just fine, which is good. He had the injury to that same ankle twice from 2 hip drop tackles and has had history before. So, you know, him getting a boot was likely like a maintenance preventative surgery or a maintenance reinforcement surgery and should be fine. That's the assumption. And then, yeah, you know, we talked earlier, DJ said the tackles had trouble, obviously against Will and Daniil. And then Jeremy Branham, shout out Jeremy. He was at camp, did a good job. He said the first team O-line was Robinson, Tomlinson, Andrews, Howard, Fisher. That seems to kind of be the most common mix. And then DJ Biename said Nico Collins. You said Julio Jones, I mean, Nico Collins climbed the ladder to Moss at DB. And then, yes. Okay, we'll get to the comments and then I'll get into the interviews, and we're about to listen to our leader, Cap, go off Let's see. Did I miss some good shit or not? Wow, Spartacus. The main question with Tank is that even if there's a chance he's back late in the year, how does the team rationalize giving him a spot in the final roster? Well, and then also too, like when he comes back, he's gonna be 70, 80% of himself, and you gotta ramp him up. Like rather than like try and ramp him up to like the timeline will be like he won't even be 100% when he comes back, even if it's like the Super Bowl, which maybe Super Bowl, okay. But yeah, it's like that's going to be tough for them and Tank to deal with. His agent. His agent's probably like, bro, like just chill, just wait, like just give yourself the extra month or two to get additional rest and rehab, and then hit it full fucking speed next year. King Colby, but I get it too. Like, I mean, that's like these athletes are there because they have this mindset of like they don't give a fuck, like they don't listen to what people tell them, and like so that's how he is where he is. And so that'll be a tough deal. King Colby, I think this year we really do have a chance to put a bull on that ring. Let's go. Facts. I agree. Say it. Like it's fine to say it. Like you don't. It doesn't mean like I hate that we have to suppress excitement. Like if you're excited, fucking say it. Like it's like you shouldn't get hated on for thinking that, especially when it's justified. All right. And then Forrest says, bro, we hear too much from the lame Cowboys fans. LMAO. We're the realists, but we have everything to be hyped for this team. Facts. Nosh says, now why am I getting flashbacks of him floating wide open Dell in that Lions game that he missed? Yeah, man. I mean, he's not perfect. And maybe that could have been, I don't know if that Jets game was before that and he was banged up, but and I would say, you know, him missing a handful of throws and yeah, that I don't know what he was thinking on that, but I will say like when we did see him missing throws, especially late in the year, it was a product of his internal clock being sped up. Like he was used to dropping back, getting hit. So it's like, all right, when you finally get time, it's like, oh shit, like what do I do? So I don't care who you are. We saw with Mahomes in the Super Bowl we talked about. If you're used to getting hit in less than a second, like it's gonna fuck with you, dude. Engineer says Stroud has arm talent, top 3 in the league with Stafford and Burrow. Okay, all right. Yeah, I think we're arm talent wise, yeah. I mean, his arm talent's insane, dude. Brandon, LOL. I told you before he got here, people would like the Lassiter helmet slap. Yes, sir. JJ Sugar, I'm praying Nick Chubb is at least 90% of his old self, coping hard, but dude looks legit in his workouts recently. Yeah, so Dr. Deepak, who's like legit as fuck, he's a doctor in like Harvard, Stanford. You know, he's got a massive following. He said 85% to start the year, so we should be around that. But all right, D'Amico Ryans, he was talking his shit. Let's hear it. Let's see.
Oh, CJ threw today, right? All right. Just the.
I thought like when he said that, like he was gonna laugh with them, but he like smiled like, yeah, fuck y'all. Oh shit. I mean, I get both sides of it. Like I'm not like trying to like I'm not talking crap to people that were concerned. Like they were valid concerns, but I'm just laughing at like him being relieved that this shit's over with. And like he was basically saying, like, I told y'all it was nothing, bro. Like, but that's the first time we've seen that from him, like showing like frustration like that. And, you know, so hopefully we don't get that experience down the road. And here we go with D'Amico. Some more D'Amico. This is Monday.
CJ's a competitor, and last week CJ, he was adamant about going out and practicing. It just shows the type of person that CJ is. Like but for me as a head coach, it's important for me to just make sure we're protecting him, making sure we're doing what's best for CJ, and not really worried about the outside opinions or other people. Nobody knows the information about our players more than.
And so he talks about how CJ wanted to practice. So like that's the other part of it too, is like they're holding him back. CJ wants to practice, and then you're just getting hit with all this shit. It's like just let us fucking deal with this shit. And then let's see right here.
Or other people, nobody knows the information about our.
By the way, if anybody has any problem with the profanity, just tell me. I'll stop. Like once I get used to that mode, I'll kind of like let it loose. It's dumb. I hate that I do it. And if you're on a podcast and you hear it, like I put it as explicit. If you don't like it, just tell me. I'll try to be better about it. But I guess like the way I look at it is like once I have an episode where I start cussing, then it's like easier for me to continue doing it. So hopefully I'm not, upsetting anybody. I apologize.
Our players more than me, and some opinions or other people.
This is a great part here. This is also him venting.
Not really worried about the outside opinion or CJ, and not really worried about the outside opinions or other people. Nobody knows the information about our players more than me.
Not worried about the outside opinion. Nobody knows the information about our players better than me. And this was what was crazy is like people just assumed that it was severe, and they assumed that he was lying to us, and they assumed that he wasn't telling us. Like it's like you can't just like think that it's something very bad. Like and also like we don't know that it wasn't, but like we also have to take him at his word, which is his word was it was general soreness. I'm not concerned. It's not a big deal. He's on his own schedule. That's all the same fucking shit. That's all the same. He's telling you what the fuck it is. But then people just didn't want to believe it. Like they're like, oh, like they just wanted to believe that it was something tragic that we didn't fucking know about. And because he didn't give us the answers to match up with what you think it may be, you get upset. Like, no, like what the fuck? He's like, golly. So this is him saying that. Like, I don't care what the fuck y'all think or what you think it is.
What's best for CJ, and not really worried about the outside opinions or other people. Nobody knows the information about our players more than me. And so I'm going to make sure I always do what's in the best interest of our players, first and foremost with their health and wellness. That's always on the forefront of my mind. And so that's why the decision was made about CJ. I think you guys saw him out throwing today. I think he looked pretty fine to me.
I think he looked pretty fine to me. And so my takeaway from this is like, this is what the fuck you want in a head coach. Like he said, I'm going to do what's best for my quarterback. And despite all and it's a shame. Like that's the way like our world is like, and I get it. Like, like, we're fans. We want to know. And I guess I get to the argument about transparency, but like, I don't know what more you want to know from him. But now it's like, we are conditioned to know, okay, if this happens again, like, oh, we've seen this. But anyways, basically, you want this from a head coach. Like he is going to do what he thinks is best for his team. And he's not going to be bullied or dictated into doing what he should do based off other people. Like he could have easily caved and like, fuck, I'm trying to do it. Like, see, just go fucking throw. So they stop. And like, you know what? No, they fucking stuck with it. Like, all right, I'll be another day or two. We'll deal with the bullshit. I'll fucking handle it. And so like, he's looking out for the long-term interests. He's not. So he's showing you like, he don't give a fuck. Like, I feel like a lot of coaches and GMs can and are influenced by outside opinion. And we are those losers sometimes. Like we, are wrong a lot. And, obviously as fans, we want them to do what we want. But obviously in hindsight, like obviously most of the time when we're, opposite of their line of thinking, it's wrong. So it's good to see this is my point. I got the camera flipped. So when I point, I'm pointing over this way, but my actual camera where I'm looking at monitors this way. Anyways, it's good to have a coach to know this is a great characteristic. So like the takeaway from this is like he will stick to his shit and he's not going to fold based off of other expectations. This is a great thing. That's my takeaway from this clip right here. So I think that's great. He's going to stick to what he believes in, and he's going to do it. Hey, shout out Carlos from Just Fans, my guy. We got to we've been trying to get Carlos on for the Texans content creator. I know he has school probably finished up by now.
Now, I feel really strong about our roster. I think for me, I always take into account every year, like every player that's on our team, right? So some people have the adage of, oh, you guys are going off.
Damn, I was on mute. Yeah, I mute myself sometimes when I clear my throat just to not have you guys hear it. So I don't know what all I said. It okay. I was muted after finishing up of school or something. So I talked about school. Yeah, so I shouted out Carlos and I kind of just went through the chat. But yeah, I basically said, basically what y'all said, like D'Amico, the fact that he is gonna stick to fucking what he fucking wants to do and not be influenced by any opinions, like that's a great fucking thing. He's gonna stick to his guns and do what's right. And we talked about, I guess there was a comment. I think what I said is like him and Casario, yes, they're locked the fuck in. They don't care about any of the bullshit outside, whether it's from me, whoever, whatever it is. They have one fucking goal, and that's to win a fucking Super Bowl. We will benefit from that. And so back to here on D'Amico right here.
Are now, and I feel really strong about our roster. I think for me, I always take into account every year, like every player that's on our team, right? So some people have the adage of, oh, you guys are going all in because you make a certain move here or there. Well, to me, what year aren't you going all in? Because if you're not trying to go all in, whatever that move is, then it's just a disrespect to the organization, a disrespect to all the players who are putting their bodies through a ton of pain, ton of suffering to go out and play this game. So for me, just respecting the game and what it means to me are now. I feel
That's fucking
really
dope,
strong
dude.
about our roster.
So hand up, I'm guilty. I'm somebody who sees a move like, oh, they're fucking all in. But he's like, no, he basically said like, no, like we're always fucking all in, dude. Like every move we make is to be all in. So it's great that we got him at the time that we did. It wasn't some rebuilding phase. Like once we got him, it was like, all right, all systems go, because that's the way he's thinking. And so all these moves he makes, like Nick Chubb, like, man, that's just a crazy answer. He basically says, what year aren't you going all in? If you're not, then it's just a disrespect to the organization, to all the players. And he talks about, and this is like his perspective from being a player. Like I guarantee you, when he was a player, he always wanted to fucking win. So now when he now becomes a head coach, he's like, I know when I play what the fuck I wanted, I didn't want to be a part of some franchise that was just fucking, kicking the fucking can down the road, whatever. He's like, I wanted to be on a team that wants to fucking win. So now when I'm a head coach, I'm gonna do everything I can to try and fucking win. And I keep fucking cussing. I'm a fucking loser. I'm sorry. But yeah, so D'Amico has got me hype, and he's all in all the time. That's the synopsis on that. And let's see. Finding an actual leader is tough because you have a lot of fakers. Respect D'Amico. Yeah, so facts. That's a good way to put that. Like that's what a leader does, right? A leader does the shit that's not easy. Like this whole CJ Stroud thing, like he could have easily fucking said, you know what, fucking let him, go throw so people stop freaking out, or it's not that bad, it's fine. Like he made a tough decision with a long-term vision. Like, yeah, I mean, being able to fucking go up there and take bullets is crazy, dude. Cecil Thompson, Gregory Dismuki. I don't know who that is or what that means, but what's up, Cecil? Thanks for tuning in. Nosh says tits and shags fans can I guess that's Titans can do all sorts of victory laps over making it to the conference finals, while the Texans will go and win the damn Lombardi. Let them know. Brandon says moving Tunsil and getting more picks to rebuild made it so that even when they do pay CJ and Will, they can have a solid all-around roster, getting closer to eliminating almost 150 mil in underperforming players. Yeah, man, that was crazy, dude. I mean, and that's leadership too. Like he fucking did what he wanted to do. Like he could have been like, man, we shouldn't trade Laramie. Like that's gonna give us backlash, man. I don't want to deal with that. He's like, no, fuck it, let's do it. It makes the most sense for us. Let's fucking do it. Appreciate that, King. Yeah, it's your stream. Do you? I appreciate that. I know. I just don't want to come. I try to be professional. So I have like this tough deal with this because like this isn't my job. I'm a fan, and I do try and monetize it here and there, and it just goes back into it to make it worth my while. But I'm also cognizant of like, I'm like somewhat media, I guess, or whatever. So like I want to be somewhat professional, but like I have like this dilemma between being a fan, which is what I am, and like media. And like a lot of the new stuff you see is like, I guess you call it fanalist. I don't know if that's like coined as a term or not, but that's what I've always thought of, fanalist, a fan analyst. Like I fucking love the Texans. I've watched him my whole life. I know the game, so I'm going to tell you my opinion. I guess I never thought I'd be here doing this now, but yeah. So it's like I want to be myself, and so like I know there's like traditional media and like I never like started doing this with like an end goal of like I want to be a reporter. Like no, like I don't know what I'm just doing this shit. It's just fucking naturally evolving. So it's tough to like try and I feel like there's new outlets that like show like like Barstool, which some people may love, some people may not love, but there's many outlets like that where they're basically just fucking fans and they are personalities shooting shit to you real, which I guess the radio kind of is too. But basically it's authentic, I guess is what I'm getting at. Whereas I feel like old school media is like, you have to do this, this, and this. And so I'm cognizant of that. And it's like a battle between like trying to like be professional and be myself at the same time. So I have lapses and anyways, I don't fucking know. But like, so yeah, that's as Forrest says, nah, bro, this is so much better than traditional media. This is real. Yeah. So that's the key word, real. Like it's just, I feel like it's changed. And then Forever Royal says best Texans content creator. Ooh, far in my opinion, man, that's fucking major love, bro. I appreciate that. Cecil says I was tagging my family member to come join. Hey, appreciate that, Cecil. Yeah, shout out Facebook fam, dude. That's dope that you're watching on Facebook. I'm almost at 7,000 on Facebook. Facebook's fucking dope, dude. Appreciate that. And then Forever Royal says trading Kenyon Green for CD was chef's kiss. Yeah, that was crazy. I still can't believe that. All right, now we're getting into the man who does not have a broken shoulder talking on Monday, CJ Stroud, to the media.
Due to your off-season workout program?
A little bit, just
I'm gonna get a refill while this plays.
I took this offseason very serious. I'm just working hard. I'm trying to get my body right. So I was here like pretty early with Clint, our strength guy. So I've been working really hard on getting my body right, losing body fat, trying to be faster, stronger. And it really went really well. But there's always risk and reward, So there's always risk to working hard. So it was a great off season. I think I got that done, but also, I wouldn't say that was the reason why. Just a lot of everything,
Due to your off-season workout program?
A little bit,
Yes, I believe that was Big Sarge, and he asked a good question. He asked, was your quote unquote injury? It's not an injury. I guess that's what we've been calling it, but it's not a fucking injury. He said, was that due to your off-season training, working out? And was this the video I played here?
I took this offseason very serious.
Yeah, it was. So Jacob posted this. Shout out Jacob, Texans Jacob does a great job. He says he said he did work hard. He was trying to get his body right, lose body fat, get stronger, get faster. And then he says, there is a risk reward from working your ass off. And so I tend to think it was more like, obviously he did all that shit, but like we said, like, I think it was, what was that? I'm trying to read the comment there. But I think it was really, he fucking threw too fucking much. That's all it is, bro. Like he's fucking trying to fucking dial the fuck in and was just throwing too fucking much. And it could be a little bit of the weight room shit too. But I mean, who cares? Whatever. It's fucking, it's minor. And then here is Jacob posted another one. Let's see what this is.
Yeah. Yeah. I felt great, man. I'm very grateful to be back out on the field. I'm a little rusty, made some throws, missed some throws, but just very grateful to be out there with the guys and have a time to, compete before we go a couple days away until camp. So I'm very excited to be back, but, just iron sharpen iron. Yeah.
I mean, I also wonder too, like, if, what if D'Amico did cave during minicamp and he's like, fuck it, let's go fucking throw. Because they're only like 2-3 days away from like a break. I don't think that's the case, but that was probably their plan all along. He's like, all right, this bullshit fucking voluntary OTAs, sit out, let other guys get reps, which is a good fucking thing. We know who the fuck you are, and then we'll do it. I'm such a loser, just cussing all the time. Let's see here. Let me get back to the chat. And then EM on YouTube, thanks for tuning in, says Locker always talking that smack and he still gets in the locker room. Haha. Oh yeah, about the players and stuff. So no worries. Yeah, no, and I mean they do a great job, and like I admire that too about him and Cody. Like, and that's what you want too. Like you don't want oh, I guess he's more so talking about like just talking how I'm talking crazy, and you're still yeah. But yeah, I mean, to not let access and being around that like to not let you be biased, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So that's very admirable by those guys. Like they'll tell you what they feel regardless, whether it's all we all have these are all opinions anyways. But that yeah, I think they do a great job, and I admire the fact that they tell you what they think no matter what, regardless of what it may or may not cause when they're around that environment. So that's definitely admirable. Engineer says curse words are kind of like filler words, exactly. Not a matter of being authentic, but kind of a bad habit. But again, I'll watch regardless. The fuck you talking about, dude? Engineer, quit fucking cussing, dude. Uh, but yeah, you're right. That's just me being a loser, is what it is. Lawrence didn't get to throw in mandatories because of general soreness. Yeah, go figure. Go figure. And so we'll keep scrolling up. Shout out Harley Dugan. See Harley on the timeline. Here's some more CJ. Damn, dude. Normally I drink on here. I have like 1 or 2 glasses. I think I'm kind of buzzed. This is my first time being a little drunk on stream. I'm sorry. Don't call the cops on me.
I think y'all don't have much. Yeah, I mean, I was already throwing, before you guys see me out there pretty normally. I think y'all don't have much to talk about. So y'all everything is blown up in all season. So I'm fine, man.
CJ also talking his shit, but he did it in a much more polite manner because he hasn't had to deal with it. D'Amico's the one who's had to deal with it. So that's funny. Y'all have nothing to talk about, so blowing up, which is true. Like, it's not like, and this is a great, like, he's great at like, this is like if you were to read this text, like on a transcript, you'd be like, oh, this fucking asshole. But like, if you watch the video with context, he's not being rude at all.
I'm really okay. Yeah.
I'm really okay. So he was probably relieved to go up there and, kind of dispel all this stuff as well. And then here's CJ right here.
Be more intentional about it. So have more fluidity in my hips, lose a couple pounds, run faster. And I got all those done. I think I PR'd on almost everything this offseason, which has been really dope, So, shout out to Mike, Clint. Clint's been with me every day, and he does a lot of. He had a track background, but has bought in and done a lot of things with us as quarterbacks. So I'm very, very grateful that we got these things done. But now it's ball time, and this offseason will be very important on getting back with my throwing regimen and with my guys in LA.
Getting back on my throwing regimen. That's what the fuck it is, dude.
So I got those things done, and I'm grateful for it.
Yeah. So I'm kind of getting a little drunk. Sorry. I'm sorry. Thought this was America. Yeah. So he talked about PR'd, which is personal record. So basically that means he is the strongest and fastest he's ever been. That means he hit the biggest bench, the biggest incline, the biggest squat number. So he got after it. And he talked about earlier getting faster. Yeah, so he had a great offseason. That dude's been in the lab. Nosh said, just tell the cops you were relaxing. That's what I have to do, man. I'm definitely not stressing right now. I'm blessing like a MFer. Hey, I didn't cuss. Good job. And let's go to the next CJ Stroud quote.
When athletes, it teaches you not to panic. It's part of the game. Just like how pitchers, they take relief weeks and nights off.
Teaches you not to panic.
It's part of the game. Just like how pitchers, they take relief weeks and nights off. The same thing for.
Did I not say on the very first fucking day this happened, oh, it's probably a pitch count? And I wrote a fucking article about all this shit, and I went through every fucking thing, all the scenarios. I gotta stop cussing. This is so lame. I went through all the scenarios, and I basically, talked about everything that could happen, and I said it's probably just a pitch count thing. It's maintenance.
For all throwing athletes. You just got to be precautionary, and those things are bound to happen. It's not about if, it's about when, and you're just doing the right things to come back. So I never thought too much of it. It's not that big of a deal, and I did not get surgery or anything like that. I was fine. So
Thank you for saying that, CJ.
yeah, I'm fine. I'm not. It's not as bad as people are making it seem. I mean, it teaches you not to
Again, this
panic.
isn't like me trying to dunk. Like I'm just saying from like I don't know. Like I'm not like individually attacking anybody. And again, like I understand the concerns and stuff, but it's just like more of like all right, this is over with type of thing. So, JJ Sugar says CJ is about to go crazy this season. 40+ passing touchdowns, season incoming. Call me crazy. I don't care. I agree, dude. I mean, I agree. I've been saying it like so. The year we thought he would have last year is going to be this year, but the problem is we've all been like burned to where no one wants to believe it. Like, this is the year to have the hype, in my opinion. Engineer, something tells me he worked out with Jaden Daniels over the offseason. That would be dope. Hopefully that VR shit. And Kalen Bullock.
It's a lot of it is music too as well. You guys listen to the same stuff.
Yeah, same stuff. We like the same, basically. We're the same person.
Which artists do you guys like the most, or artists?
NBA Youngboy. That's
your guy.
So Aaron Wilson, shout out Aaron Wilson, my guy. He said he asked Kalen Bullock about the video of like him and Kamari jamming walking in, what they listened to. He said it was NBA Youngboy. And I know a lot of people will guess that, so y'all definitely called that. And then this was a highlight from earlier in the day on Monday. We're still on Monday, and we are an hour and 52 minutes in. We'll be done in about 20, 30 minutes. Just hang in there. This is a throw from CJ Stroud to Jaden Higgins. That's fucking sick, dude. So if you're on the podcast, this is CJ. We'll watch it again. It looks like it is a 7-on-7 drill, and it looks like either a wheel or just a vertical route by Jaden Higgins, and he's on Kamari Lassiter, and they're pretty much even when the ball is thrown, and Kamari, physical, aggressive corner, hand fighting. Jaden Higgins fucking fights his hand off, and CJ leads him with touch. And let's see. Yep. And Jaden Higgins, being 6'4", is able to reach out and get the ball with one hand and fucking pin it to his body and score a touch, or not touch, but yeah, it was sick. And it was a great throw and a great catch. And that shit translates. Like, that's a rookie. Oh, it's a rookie. It's not pads. Nah, fuck that. Like, I don't like that shit translates. Like, he will be an impact player. And here's some more CJ Stroud. This is on Nick Caley.
Him as a person. I think for me, like, I buy into people. I really don't buy into like system. I kind of have that thing about like life. Is like, it's the people and the relationships that kind of take things and make it rocket ship to the stars. So just him as a person, man, like he has probably the most.
That was kind of funny. So like I mentioned earlier how like I'll post a clip and like repost it. So I listen to the same clip several times. I laugh when I hear that, like, make it rocket ship to the stars. It's kind of funny. I was listening to it.
Take things and make it rocket ship to the stars. So just him as a person, man, like he has probably the most juice I've ever seen in my life.
Pause.
Just naturally.
Most juice, pause.
I'm a very laid back, chill guy, except for like when I'm in between the lines. But like he's 6 a.m, he's up, he's at it. So like that kind of like gets me motivated. And just how.
So Kaylee's high energy, high juice. He's motivating his own fucking quarterback to like fucking get after it.
How he buys into his players, and he calls me a lot. I don't always answer because he always yelling and stuff. But I appreciate it though, and it's it's been great. He's implementing a lot of things he's done in the past, which is important as well. The system is important, and he's doing a great job. As you guys have seen, we've been able to have a pretty good OTA off-season program from what you guys can see and even things that y'all can't see, building that foundation so we can rocket ship once we snap that ball, against LA. So, I love Nick, and he's doing a great job.
So basically, he said y'all can see what we're doing, even things you can't see, we're still doing good. The question was about Nick Caley and his system. He says, to me, it's about the person, which also the system also helps, but like he buys into Nick Caley, and he says he likes Nick Caley because he buys into his players. And he cited examples where, he motivates him with his energy, waking up every morning, and then he has a relationship where he's calling him. And CJ says, sometimes I don't answer because he's always fucking yelling. That's not his words. That's what I said. But yeah, because he's always yelling, which is kind of a funny little tidbit there. But yeah, so that's great. Like, again, like, I think him and Bobby might have had a good relationship. I know there was reports, after about, the draft process, and I don't know if that was true or not when he confronted him or whatever, but it does sound like, regardless of the past, Kaylee and CJ, from what we're being told and observe, have a good relationship, which is the first and most important thing. The OC and quarterback need to be like this, and they're like that. And if it's like, this may sound corny as hell, but like the way I look at this shit is, like me as a dog owner. I got a dog. I got a 100-pound Rhodesian Ridgeback. But when I got a dog, I didn't get a dog for it to be like my like fucking bitch. Like, I got a dog for it to be like my friend, my equal. Like, I didn't get a dog for me to boss it around and do this, do that, go fucking outside. Like no, like, you're my boy. Like, I got you to like for a companion, like for like company. Like my dog goes in the car with me everywhere I fucking go. But like early on, like when I like research how to train him, like some people train, this is not what I'm saying here with this, but like some people train their dogs where it's like a fucking, like, I'm the dominant, I'm gonna fucking let you know who's who, like, and like that can work to get them to be obedient, but like you're not going to get what you want out of the relationship if you're looking for like the dog to like be a companion. Like, they're going to look at you as like, they're going to be scared of you. And so like that can be the case with this sounds crazy, but I think this is kind of a good analogy. Honestly, this could be an article. So some coaches or OCs can take that approach. They can take the dominant approach where, hey, I'm the fucking man, you're below me, you fucking listen to me. And honestly, from the reports that we heard, that's kind of how it sounds like Slowick was with the offense. Like, hey, I'm the fucking guy, you listen to me. And this is speculation. It could be way wrong. It's just based off of what we've kind of heard and assumed. But to me, you need to be fucking equals, dude. Like, even head coaches, like, especially nowadays in the NFL, like, first off, one, these men are like grown fucking men. They're like some of the biggest alphas in the world. Like, they've gotten to where they've gotten because like they're the fucking cream of the crop. And two, like, they're making way more fucking money than you. So you can't just like the old school shit of like, hey, you do this, you do that, or you're fucking out of here. That shit doesn't work in the NFL, dude. It needs to be an equal. Like, hey, like, we're friends. My hands are not level. Like, we're on the same level. And, once I establish to you that like, I'm not trying to just fucking own you all the time, like, we're working together, then this shit will work. And so my assessment is like, that's how it's going now. And let's see right here. No, I think the dog example is a good example. That's how you raise a dog. There's two ways to raise a dog. You can raise it as like, I'm the fucking alpha, I'm gonna own you, you're my bitch, or hey, I can also get you to do what you want me to do by you getting to like me. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, if you can like get the trust and the respect, it's like, I will do what you want me to do because I like you, not because I'm scared of you. It's either fear-based or respect-based. I guess that's what I should have said. It took me a while to filter down to that. So there's a couple of different approaches to leading, and that can be, or instructing. It can be from scaring the shit out of you, forever Royal, or it can be from respect. We got a good comment in there. So Engineer talked about Higgins' 1.5% drop rate. Why is he so good at catching the ball? Because he's fucking huge. Pause. Royal says, even with the wine infused, you still point out the pause. Oh, facts, dude. I have such I don't know how well y'all know me now, but I'm a very immature mind. So, I'm the person that would normally tell you pause. Like, if you were to say something kind of, sus, I would be the one to point it out. So now, like, when I read stuff, like I I can't help it. Like my brain has like a filter, like, is this sus as I read it? And I honestly, like when I talk on here, whenever like I pause like that, that's because like I was about to say something that I think might have been sus in my mind, and I'm trying to avoid to say it. So I'll kind of hesitate and then like revert to like a new word. So yeah, that's just the way I am. I was a big D's nuts joke guy in college. I still am a big D's nuts joke guy. I could own any of y'all with the D's nuts joke anytime you want. Just let me know. Engineer says a better example is probably micromanagers at work. Yeah, that's a good example. Royal says blame on the wine, folks. We vibing. Yep, this is a long episode. We'll just keep chugging along.
Mixon and Chubb. I'm trying to figure out what that's going to look like. Is it like a 1-2 punch from your? If we're thinking about what is it like, double thunder, thunder lightning? Like, is it what does that look like?
I think it's, you got two lead backs in one backfield. So you're going to call it, 1A and 1B, right?
Okay.
Once one guy gets tired or one guy needs a break, you can throw in either guy. And when the game's on the line, you can't go wrong with either back. I think this is a year for Nick, to prove to everyone that he's still Nick Chubb. He's 29. I talked to him. He feels young again. Yes, he had a whole year. It wasn't the year he wanted to have, but he had a whole year to kind of get physically ready, mentally ready. And I think he's at a point now where he's ready to roll.
You were with him this weekend. How good? How is he? Like, how is he physically?
He's great. You're talking about being at peak shape, being ready to go. And we were talking about it. People see it all the time with him lifting all those heavy weights. And he don't post much. Sometimes he'll post those videos, but this guy, he always go home to Cedar Town, the middle of nowhere, put his head down and go to work. So I expect nothing from great things out of Nick, and I'm sure he expects the same thing out of himself, and I'm excited to see it.
And so that was Sony Michelle on Kay Adams' Up and Adams show talking about Nick Chubb. I mean, shit, that's what you got to hear right there. Speaking of my dog, I hear him walking around. Ranger. Let's see if I can get him on stream for you guys. Anyhow, let's see. But going up, yeah, so that was cool. And then Royal's laughing. Trill says, my girl gets tired of these nuts. LMAO, that's funny. Yeah, dude. Royal, did you ever, I know we had chat on the side before. Did you ever talk to Philip for me? And then JJ Sugar says, dude is a monster. Facts. Okay, here is CJ Stroud. This was a question earlier about control of the offense.
Yeah, that'll be between me and Kels, and that was something that I did want, and I'm gotten that now.
The question to him is about having more control of the offense, and then I picked up on, which I thought was funny, was that's between me and Kales. He's got a nickname for Nick Cayley, I assume, is Kales. It's pretty funny, so we'll restart that.
Yeah, that'll be between me and Kels, and that was something that I did want, and I'm gotten that now. So, but that takes ownership. We've been able to watch a lot of Brady. And
let's go. Watch a lot of Brady. Let's fucking go, dude. He's the next Brady. Let's go. I'm so hyped.
And there was clips back in like 2003 or 4 when him and Josh McDaniels. First started. And so, like, it took him time to master it. So it'll take time for me to master it fully. But I am buying into it and trying my best to be as great as I can at it. So, it's something that I wanted and I'm getting.
It's something that I wanted and I'm getting. He wanted more control of the offense. So, again, Slowick scheme, very ironic in the sense that they tried to make life easier for their quarterback by asking them to do less. And he was prohibited. And I don't think it was against Slowick personally. It's just the scheme that he knew did not allow for that. And so, people kind of see this as shade or shots at Slowick, but I mean, it's just the natural evolution. It's also part of the evolution too, like we talked about with Coach Dan Casey, of a young quarterback. Like, the NFL in general, like it's a massive leap from college to NFL as far as quarterback play, as far as defenses and how advanced they are, and exotic packages and disguises and schemes, etc. So you can thrive at college. Like just for example, like in college, like for the most part, like when you talk about disguising a defense, like the biggest thing is like your safeties. Like you either have one safety or two safeties. And if it's one safety, it's going to be either cover one or it's going to be cover three, more than likely. So either man or cover three. Or if it's two safeties, it's more than likely cover two or cover four. Or it could be, cover six, which is two in the boundary and four at the top. I mean, but at the simplest form is you look at the fucking safety pre-snap. There's one. Okay, all right. It's either man or cover three. Okay, if it's man, or so you look at the safety. Okay, there's one. All right, now I look down at the corner. Okay, the corner's 10 yards off. Oh, it's fucking cover three. Okay, there's one safety. Look at the corner. Oh, he's pressed. Oh, it's fucking man. Okay, I need to figure out my man options. Or now if it's two safeties, okay, it's either cover two or cover four. Okay, how deep is the safety? He's kind of down. Okay, it's probably cover two. Oh, he's kind of high. It's probably cover four. Or you go, okay, there's two safeties. Let me look at the corner. The corner's 10 yards off. It's cover four. Let me look at the corner. He's 5 yards off. He's pressing. Oh, it's cover two. Like that's like the basic like way you process a defense, like receivers and quarterbacks. And in college, whenever you do that, the defense is rarely disguised, meaning they don't roll their safeties. So like whatever they show you pre-snap, too high and corners, everyone basically says like, hey, we're fucking running this play. And so as a quarterback, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, fuck, he's running cover two, boom. So it's like easy. And like you might get some, disguises and coverages being, disguised, depending on the level. But like when it gets to the NFL, like not only did they do it more, but they do it in like crazy ways. So there is more of a learning curve. So like I get to an extent, like you want to ease a quarterback in and like don't want to like, you would rather like ease them in than like fucking throw them in the fire. And then now, they've kind of, you got to undo a bunch of shit. So you kind of baby step them. So like that could have been part of it too. That was just a rant. But anyway, so like with CJ Stroud, he's got more control. To me, what's been crazy though too is like, I feel like it was the scheme mostly that limited him. And then probably that notion too, that he was young and couldn't handle it. But like, to me, from like what I've fucking observed by like, I watch all this fucking shit. Like this shit, like, you may think that like watching interviews and listening to people talk doesn't give you much. Like, I think it fucking does, dude. Like, I've watched every fucking interview this guy has had. I've watched every interview this guy's had, which was a lot last year, a lot of podcasts, and you can tell like this guy knows fucking football. Like, kind of how I just went through like reading coverages like that. Like, he's fucking talking that shit like on all those podcasts. Like, he knows what the fuck he's doing. So like, let him fucking do it, And it depends too. And like, if you're in college, what scheme you were in, like some coaches aren't as advanced. And so, yeah, I think he was held back partly due to the fact that it was the scheme limiting him and partly because he's young. He doesn't know, but like he fucking knows, like he's told you like, okay, like maybe y'all are weighing too much into this Wonderlic shit, but like, I can just tell by listening to him on various interviews that this guy is fucking football smart, dude. He's fucking football smart. Like, and that's half the battle as a QB. Not sure how I got there, but yeah, so that clip was saying, this offense, if they've been watching Brady, so you can also extrapolate from that. My hair's kind of sticking up. Will this be more of a Rams or Patriots offense? So like, if you're the one thinking more of Patriots, you can extrapolate. Oh, he said Brady. He said Josh McDaniels. And so, but to me, that's a good thing. I think it's a mix, obviously, and whether it's 60-40 or whatever. I mean, you would watch this and lean, 60% Patriots, 40% Rams. But, the Rams also give Matthew Stafford control. Having control is a good thing. This is fucking awesome to hear. Let me get some comments. Yeah, I tried to get Royal. He said, Philip, you tried it? Yeah, I was trying to get him with Philip on these nuts. Trill 5200 says, to be honest, I think Nick Chubb is going to shine. Facts. You trying to shine a Chubb, bro? Pause. But I agree. Engineer, I've gotten that now. Was that something I said? It was in quotes. So, you're talking about CJ. Yeah, I've gotten that now. Yep, that was potentially a shot. And then Trill says meeting Slowick was sewing him up. Yeah, I mean, that's basically what I just said going through that. Brandon Chubb has me hyped when he said he was hitting all of his old offseason training metrics at home. Yep, Facts. I haven't posted that. I was going to post that, but similar to CJ in his offseason, and when we talked to Dr. Chona, he says, the reason why someone like Chubb can come back sooner is he likened like to Adrian Peterson. Like he's someone who came back from multiple ACLs because he's a fucking freak athlete. So they bounce back faster. And we've seen it with the videos. And then like Brandon said in his interview today, Nick Chubb said like, I've hit all the same fucking numbers that I've hit before. So like, I'm the same fucking guy, dude. Like, yeah, I was hurt, but like, if the injury was limiting him, then he might have done less on squat, less on this, less on that. But he's doing the same shit, so he's back, dude. Like, the only concern is getting injured. My dog, he creeped into the bed with my wife, I think. I could just hear, like, his nails clattering. Engineer, he called out Jalen Johnson last year for Palm's look during the Bears game. Stroud is a nerd. Facts. So, exactly. So, it's little shit like that all of us watch because we watch all this shit. Like, this guy fucking knows ball. Royal, you seen Stroud breaking down his own film on the Athletic show? Yeah, so exactly. It's shit like that. Like, we watch and like, okay, this guy knows what the fuck he's talking about. And so on to Kalen Bullock.
Kirk, first thing I know is his hands. He got real strong hands. He probably ain't dropped the ball. Today he dropped one, but that was like his first drop the whole time. So, and then his route running. Christian Kirk, he great routes, especially in that slot. He a slot demon. That's what we
slot demon.
Call him at the back end.
Yeah, so that's Kalen Bullock talking about, and I thought it was Bullock, and then I heard people saying Bullock, and then I heard someone say Bullock. Is it Bullock or Bullock? I want to say I've been saying Bullock, but I believe it's Bullock. Someone tell me. But anyways, that's him on Christian Kirk. Called him a slot demon. Great hands, which it was funny. He pointed out he had like his first drop today and it was reported. But I know recently he's kind of had a higher drop rate the past year or two, but I think overall he's pretty reliable. So, and here is a shout out Harley. Here's a play from. And it looks like a corner route, which I don't know if he scored or not, but good play. And then here's a play by Kamari Lassiter. This is a goal line fade on Jared Wayne, and Kamari Lassiter broke it up. Actually, kind of nice play by Jared Wayne going up for it. To me, that's what makes Kamari Lassiter great is his ability to finish. Like, a lot of people give up on a play so easily. Like, he will fight to the last fucking second. Like, that shit matters as a DB. Like, you can get beat, like, oh, fuck, I got beat. And there's, like, 3 or 4 more, like, levels to, like, after you get beat to where you can still recover. Like, you can still run after him. You can still put your hand up. You can fight the whole time. He will fight his ass off, dude. Here's Jaden Higgins. So earlier we talked about a tweet. This is the slant route by Higgins. Let's see here. And so this seems like, he's in a tight split. Oh, he's in the slot. And so Iowa State, from what I observed from listening to interviews, they ran a pretty advanced offense in where quarterback receiver can read the defense. And that's what I see right here. So they got high football IQ. Jaden Higgins isn't running this route. Okay, I'm running fucking 6 yards and then cutting. He's running this route. Okay, there's this backer here or this nickel back, and I need to get around him and then go. It's not, I'm going to run 6 yards. Like his whole thing is like, I'm going to get in his blind spot and then cut. That's what he's doing here. So watch this. Once he gets, here's the DB. Once he gets right here, that's it. And fucking snap that head around. Ball. And not only that, he catches it. The defender slips, catches it in stride. Good fucking gazelle. And just trots in the end zone. Good fucking luck. If you hit that guy on the run, good fucking luck, dude. This was cool. We'll watch that later. It's 5 minutes. Chris Sims on Stroud, and that's pretty good Good clip there. Shout out to Alan Sarah. And here's the full highlights of minicamp day 1. I'll just post. I'll put it up with no sound just in case it docks me for YouTube. But I'll kind of talk through it. It's got Nick Chubb going through warmups. And then Jay in the chat says, do you think Christian Harris or Henry T gets first team reps in training camp? I think it's Henry T and or EJ Speed. And then it shows Cade Stover play, which we saw. And then it shows Dalton Schultz running a choice or an option route, which is nice. I think we will run more of those. Pretty solid. Then it shows Mechie running one. And then it shows the play we just saw with Kamari breaking up the pass on Jared Wayne with a little seatbelt action. I used to think that was like a fucking for the longest time, I thought the fucking seatbelt was like a, what do you call it? Holstering. There's another word for holstering, like a sword. That's what I thought it was for a while. Here's another play. This is a throw, kind of a duck, and it was somewhat dropped by 83. And then number 30, I believe it's Jalen Smith, made a play in the ball as well. Getting crunk. And then here's the same play we just saw from Jaden Higgins running the slant, which was behind the defender, snapping his head around. Gazelle. And then let's go to something else here. Yeah, and then Derek Stingley Jr. said, bro, why you screaming to Kalen Bullock for his presser? That was pretty funny. And then here's Nico running a route. And yeah, I realized this a couple days ago, but this is a fact. You cannot debate me on this. You cannot spell the word unicorn without Nico. And it's pretty cool that it's like in the middle of the word. UNICORN. Unicorn. Pretty cool little thing I discovered, huh? Yeah, look at that. I'm witty. Let me get to the chat. Let's see. You called out Jalen Johnson. You seen the breaking down film. Did we ever sign? Royal, you're not going to get me with these nuts jokes. He says, I already knew before I even fucking finished the sentence. That's a good one, though. I never even heard of that, but I know it's a D's nuts joke. He says, did we ever sign Dancion? That's a good one. Dancing on these nuts? That's fucking good, dude. But yeah, so that's the way my brain works. I filter every word, whether or not it can be a perverted joke or sus statement. So that'll be an ongoing thing, though. Now that I know that some of y'all do the D's nuts jokes, I'll try and get some of y'all. Jay says, do you think Christian Harris or Henry? Yeah, we answered that one. My bad. Engineer says, yeah, we're winning the Super Bowl. Facts, bro. I'm so crunk. Engineer says, Jaden Higgins should have been a top 10 pick. Dude, he's a fucking he's another unicorn, dude. I feel like an idiot for like crossing him off the list just because he was also big. I learned my lessons there. I thought it was redundant to get another X-type receiver, but one, it can work, and two, I think he's also can play more of that Z role. But yeah, he's a freak. Engineer, reason why Steve Smith prefers him over T-Mac and went on a rant about Panthers for not taking Higgins over McMillan. Facts. Not to mention like the swarm aspect. He's fucking swarmy, and T-Mac seems to not be that way. And then Forrest McWhitaker, holy shit, seatbelt. I thought it was a sword sheathing. That's the fucking word. Yeah, I always thought it was a fucking. But like the reason why the sword sheathing didn't make sense was because you would have to take it out. Well, I guess if you like were to kill someone or whatever, you would put it back in. But yeah, it's a fucking seatbelt because you strap them up, like you lock them up. How crazy is that, dude? I always fucking thought it was that shit too. I'm glad I'm not the only one, Forrest. We're talking about the DB celebration. If you're listening on the podcast, you can't see me doing the seatbelt motion, which me and Forrest thought was a sheathing of the sword, which it could be a sheathing of the sword. Nashes, that's nuts, man. Adish Al-Shair. But yeah, that's crazy. And who is that? Forever Royal? Yeah, Forever Royal. He thinks he's slick, huh? You think you're slick, bro?
Amount of time that he's been here, I've seen a guy really exciting to see this Jaden's growth process in the short amount of time that he's been here. I've seen a guy who's steadily like got better every single week. You've seen him make even more plays, and seeing him today, I mean, this is the most plays that he's made, and in our last week of camp, to see a rookie who's come in and showing right now that he could be an
Super
impact player for us,
Bowl.
I think it means a lot. And we saw it as coaches watching this film from the college game, but I think it just means a lot to the entire team, the players, defensive players, other offensive players, actually seeing him thrive in practice, because I truly believe if you take practice the right way, deliberately, and you work at it, it'll show up in the games. And so it's really awesome to see the work that he's doing and the plays that he's making.
Again, earlier I mentioned the show about fucking 3 hours ago. Jaden Higgins is this year's Kamari Lassiter. He's a rookie who's having an instant impact, and he's balling out, and they're telling us, hey, this guy's fucking good. He's going to play. He's going to make plays. So if you say that he's a beast, he's going to be a top 10, whatever the fuck you're saying. Like, if you're saying he's going to be good and someone tells you, oh, we don't fucking know yet. Yes, we fucking do. We fucking know. We've seen it on video. We just watched a clip, and then the coach immediately after said, yeah, this guy's fucking good. He's killing it. Oh, well, it's not full. Like, you know, fuck it. He's a receiver going against Kamari Lassiter, a top cornerback in the league, and he beat him. And he made multiple plays. Like, he's fucking good. The head coach will play rookies. He's telling you he's fucking good. He's telling you he's going to have instant impact. So Jaden Higgins will have an impact. Yeah, sorry for that rant, but that one's done. It's a dope picture here. Cyborg and Terminator. D'Amico Ryans again. This was from earlier. I talked about the year 2 jump from year 1 to year 2.
Cade Stover, he's a guy who I think has grown to time, and just on one small detail for him is just, you know, his separation at the top of the routes. So seeing Cade, a second-year player, take the steps to get better at the one thing, just his route definition at the top of his route, and seeing him make play after play like that. That's what excites me about the offseason. That's why I think it's really important these 8-9 weeks that we have with the players. If you attack it with the right mindset, you can actually get better, enhance your game, and you don't see as big of a jump in a lot of guys. It really is that.
So again, we talked about he unprovoked called out Cade Stover doing great and how he is getting better at the top of his routes. And we saw it with the clips just before.
First and second year, that's where you see a jump, and that's where I think Cade Stover is taking a jump, and also Kalen Bullock. Kalen has done an outstanding job, you know, this offseason of, you know, we know Kalen for tracking the football, making interceptions, but the thing that I'm very pleased with the way Coach Adegoke has worked with him just on his tracking, putting himself in really good body position to make tackles. We're not tackling or being physical, but he's doing those small things that's going to set him up to make those tackles when we put the pads on. So those small highlights are really huge for me, and we have multiple guys who are getting a lot better in their craft.
That's great to see that a head coach takes this fucking OTA minicamp bullshit, non-padded stuff just as serious as any other day. Like, attention to fucking detail, because this shit matters. Like, it's the fundamentals. Like, oh, you could just brush it off. Okay, yeah, good job. Like, no, like, fucking, okay, like, oh, he's breaking down, he's getting position. And so now, like, okay, his tackling obviously was an issue, or not an issue, like, it was his weakness. And we drafted him, and he was known as a rangy ball hawk safety who needed to work on tackling. And, you know, it kind of showed a little bit last year. And, you know, I think most of his struggles was being young and having to learn stuff and just not have his head spin around, which he's gotten that taken care of. And now it's tackling. And now they're working on it. And now they can continue to work out in training camp when the pads come on. But, yeah, Stover and Bullock will be guys to see. It's also great to see that Ian also said he thought it was a sword. That's good to know. And JJ Sugar says, strap them in their seat like it's your kids, LOL. That's what they were going for. Facts. It's like you're locked down. For us, having Nico help Higgins and having Kirk help Noel is tremendous. Facts, big facts. Brandon says, Stroud throwing for 500 yards versus the Raiders secondary. Yeah, dude, no shit. Engineer says, D'Amico is Bill Belichick 2.0, but nicer. Hey, that's a pretty good analogy, dude. Yeah, the Knicks try to interview Ime Udoka. Fuck out of here, Knicks. What the fuck? Here is CJ Stroud on Gerard
Yeah,
Johnson.
Stroud has been, in my corner since I've been 16 years old. Since I was a, young kid in high school. He fed a lot of confidence into me then, and it's kind of cool that we kind of came back now, and he does a great job of, trying to give his twist on things and how he likes to coach. I think Nick has done a great job by giving him a lot more ownership of the offense and how to coach the quarterbacks. So I think he's doing a great job of, taking the ownership and running with it and doing a lot of things that he believes in, and but also not putting a leash on us and letting us have fun. So I think he's doing a great job.
This goes back to my dog analogy. Not putting a leash on them. We're equals. Empowerment, not micromanaging. Yeah, so you're talking about Gerard Johnson. Obviously they've been, had a relationship since their Elite 11 camp, since 16 years old, I think he said. But the big thing to note is this is like the second or third time that I've heard CJ say this since Nick Caley has been the OC, is that Gerard now has been empowered to do what he wants to do, to put his own twist on it, that's how any fucking thing works, dude. Like any management company, leadership, like you can't just be like, you have to like let people do what the fuck they're like. If you hire someone, then let them fucking do what you hire them to do. Like if you don't trust them, then why'd you hire them? So, and I'm not saying that's what happened before, but it kind of sounds like it. And from the words we're hearing here, it kind of sounds like that. So, but yeah, nonetheless, good stuff to hear there. And again, like we talk about the relationship OC and quarterback, QB coach and quarterback, same shit. Like it's a fucking symbiotic relationship. Like it's not a dominance. Like we're fucking equals. We're working together. And same with QB coach and OC. Like, it sounds like it's not like this, like, hey, I'm the OC, you're the QB coach, you fucking do this. It's like, hey, what do you think? Oh, you know what? That's a good idea. Let's do that. Like that shit works as long as your people underneath you know what they're talking about, which they do. That's why they were retained. If they didn't, they would have been fucking fired too. The fact that Slowick and Strausser were the only people fired and every fucking one else on the staff was kept, that tells you all you need to know right there. CJ Stroud mentioned Nick Caley. Yeah, okay. Here's another one with CJ Stroud talking about the O-line.
I think it starts here in the weight room. Big Pimo, he's done a good job of, staying on those guys, making sure that, they're working hard. And the mindset of the guys that we brought in, they had a mindset that they wanted to dominate up there. So I just think that relationship between, Big Pimo and them in the strength program, I've seen them, majority of them here all offseason, and they've done a great job of getting stronger. And I've seen that, but also, just what they brought out to the field, and I feel comfortable back there. And, I still miss my guys from last year, but I think they're doing a great job, and, we'll be fine in that area this year.
Great answer by CJ on the O-line. Encouraging for us to hear. Basically says he's seen them there the majority of the offseason. He says, as a leader and stand-up guy, he still misses his guy from last year. So, like, he made sure to applaud the current group, but make sure that he wasn't dissing the last group, which, like, that's kind of how I am. Like, you can do both. Like, you can still have love and respect for those in the past. You don't have to shit on them to praise someone else. You can praise someone, but still be cool with the others. And so, he said that they were brought in here to dominate up there. And so that you can tell that's like a mentality shift and change. And he talks about them working in the weight room. And then he says, I feel comfortable back there. I feel safe. So, I mean, if he ain't stressing, we ain't stressing. That's what I'm saying, dude. Going to the chat, Billy Ellis on Facebook says, do you think the Texans would make it to the Super Bowl this year? I think we have a legit chance. I will not make a guarantee, but I think we have what it takes, bro. I mean, and so I've been thinking about this, like, I thought last year, I try to like find the similarity between us and like the 2012 Seahawks with Russell Wilson and Legion of Boom, and Pete Carroll, and they won the Super Bowl in their second year. That was and Russell Wilson's second year. So I thought last year could have been us last year, but I think that can be us, but in year 3 with CJ Stroud. So, like in today's NFL with like salary cap, obviously it's all about winning if you get a fucking badass quarterback winning on their rookie window. Like we saw the Bengals took a shot at it. The Chiefs obviously did it, but it's fucking Mahomes. But the Eagles went and lost, but then did it on Hurts. But his cap hit was deferred, so his cap hit was low this year. The Seahawks was like the first big time that I feel like we've known in recently that like that's like the Super Bowl window convo on a quarterback's rookie contract. And this could be the year. Like I feel like we are built the fucking same. Like we have an elite defense. And they did too. And our secondary is fucking balling. I feel like we have potentially a better defense, dude. Like our D line is nasty. Our secondary is nasty. Our linebackers are pretty damn good. I feel like they would be like the weakest between the three, but that doesn't mean they're not good. But the point is, I feel like this could be that year to be that team. So yes, to answer that question. Then Armando Guerrero says, I think it'll come down to how good our offensive line is going to be and if our receivers can stay healthy. Yep, that's facts. And then Billy says, I say we go 13 to 14 wins this year. I agree. Brandon says, Rockets said they would let their coach interview with the Knicks if Adam Silver rigged it so the Rockets get the next 5 number 1 picks. Yeah, that shit's all rigged, dude. Armando, I think we are sweeping AFC South this year. Facts. I agree. I mean, I said we would last year, and honestly, we should have. We had – my hair's all fucked up. This camera is like inverted, so when like I think my right is my right. Anyways, I agree. I got us picked to sweep the South. I did last year, and we coulda, shoulda, woulda. We had the loss against the Titans at home, which we almost still fucking won. I think that was the 8 sacks game, and still almost won. But I think we can and will too as well. All right, we're gonna buzz through the last of this. It's been way too long.
CJ, he's a true vet, a guy who played a lot of football in this league, so he done seen a lot. So every day I talk to him. We always text, and even when he's not here, we just check up on each other. So he's a great vet to me. And then out there, he makes my job easier. His recognition for plays. When I'm out there, he'd like tell me what to expect. So he make me go out there and play fast, and I can't wait to have more reps with him.
That's Kalen Bullock on CJ Gardner-Johnson, which is awesome to hear. And, you know, as soon as we got CJ Gardner-Johnson the trade, that was some of the first things that D'Amico Ryan said is how this is going to help Kalen Bullock. And he's telling us it's helping him. So that's awesome to hear. You know, it's already happening. And then now we're on to today now, the final day of Texans Mini Camp. Aaron Wilson reported that Jalen Noel, Christian Harris, Henry T, Joe Mixon, Damian Pierce, Braxton Berrios, Jimmy Ward, Tank Dell, Brevin Jordan, Danico Autry, Trent Brown, all not practicing. And J.J. Watt was there. We'll get to that. There's some clips from simple out routes. We won't go through it. Posted by Cody. And then Nico running a hitch. Nothing crazy. Nick Chubb going through a drill. That was pretty cool. Whatever. Handshake by CJ and Nick. Already got a handshake. I guess I missed the interview I had about CJ talking about Nick Chubb. That shit was hilarious. And we're kind of going through it. And let's see. DJ Bename from ESPN says, during minicamp, the QBs have not thrown in Stingley's direction very much at all. And then he said that CJ hit Christian Kirk on a deep wheel route. And then 11-11, Adam Wexler said that Lasser had a nice physical PBU on a toss over the middle to Schultz from Stroud. And then Aaron Wilson says Kalen Bullock shows range and instincts to break up CJ Stroud's sideline pass intended for Nico. And then now we're into interviews. Here's Derek Stingley Jr., which his interview went by like that. Like they asked questions. He's like, yes, no, yes. Like he zero fucking words. He said like 25 words the entire one. I love him. But like as someone who like watches the interviews to like look for like sound bites, it's like hard to find one. But this is a good one right here.
I mean, you got some crazy people, then you got like me. I don't, not crazy, but I can be crazy. But I mean, everybody different, so it all work together.
So that was Derek Stingley on the secondary. He's like, you got crazy people, and then you got me. I'm not crazy, but I can be crazy. He's so like unintentionally funny. And he just fucking hates talking to me. Like, just look, he's
You got
like
some crazy
scratching his
people, then
head, like, get me the
you
fuck
got
out of here, dude. I want to go home.
not.
How can you not love that guy? Yeah. And Nick Chubb, dude, this interview was so
Yeah,
awesome.
well, that's a big.
It's always awesome to learn about new players, but like he is like from like the little research I had done, like exactly the kind of guy I thought he would be. So like, yeah, let's just fucking dive in.
Biggest thing is knowing what this team is about from afar. I've always been a fan of Coach D'Amico, and I know some guys on the team. I know Joe Mixon. I know what he's about, and I watched him from afar on the other sideline plenty of years, and I know how hard he runs the ball, and I know the opportunity I had here with this team. Being an up and coming team, and past 2 years I really turned it on. So I know I had a chance to come here and win a lot of games, surrounded by a great group of people.
Rick, what do you say about?
Yeah, well, I guess the biggest thing is knowing what.
And so like, he had high praise for D'Amico and he came here to win a lot of games. And shout out German Benitez on X. He says, appreciate the bites and respect all the work that you put in. Thanks, bro. I appreciate that, man. Thanks for the support. Means a lot. Glad to know that I'm providing a service to you, or not a service, but something of value, I guess I should say. Here is Nick Chubb on being paired with Joe Mixon.
I think we're great together. He's a bigger guy. Tall, explosive. He runs super hard, and I do the same thing. So I think it'll be us kind of doing that back to back and against other defenses. Yeah.
Yeah. So he basically said he's a bigger guy, tall, explosive. He runs super hard, and I do the same thing. So it's like we got two fucking Nick Chubbs, two Joe Mixons. And that's kind of where I had the realization that it's like, all right, it's you talk about tandems like thunder and lightning. It's thunder and thunder. It's two big motherfuckers. Pause. Here is Nick Chubb on CJ Stroud.
He's a ball player. I went to Georgia, so in that game when they played OSU versus Georgia, I was afraid, because he was torching them. And yeah, he's a great player. I was on the Browns 2 years ago in a playoff game. We came here and torched us again. So I see what he's about. He's a great leader. I met him, came up to me, talked, exchanged numbers. Anything I needed, he told me to let him know. So he's a great leader too.
Calls CJ Stroud a great leader. He gave him his number, talks about how he fucking torched Georgia in that game, and then how he torched the Browns. I was there in the playoffs. So that shit was dope. Here's JJ Watt on Derek Stingley Jr.
Yeah, I would say that's fair. I mean, we've had some great ones here. Obviously, I played with Joe, Kareem, some of these great players. But Sting is a phenomenal player, and he's so businesslike in what he does. He just goes down there, locks people up, and goes back to work the next play. Like he's not the loudest, he's not the most rambunctious, but he just does his job extremely well. And obviously, he got taken care of because of it.
Love that. Yep, that's facts. Shout out Chancellor Johnson, who may be on the show soon, maybe next week. That's my guy. And here's Nick Chubb. This one went viral because this is fucking awesome. Damn, it's got 4K likes. Shit. This is how Nick Chubb is a perfect swarm fit, which I suspected. Like once the news started to break, I did research and saw his quotes and interviews. I can't help but think that his personality and the swarm aspects played a major role into why we got him.
Yeah, I mean, he's a young coach, a lot of energy, a lot of intensity. He's young, fresh, he wants to win. And,
this is on why he chose the Texans. First, he talks about D'Amico. I'll start over.
Yeah, I mean, he's a young coach, a lot of energy, a lot of intensity. He's young, fresh, he wants to win. And, I was questioning why they wanted me. And then I came here and I saw a bunch of guys who like to work and not talk. And I realized that I'm a perfect fit. So I realized why they wanted me here. And I'm excited about it.
That's so fucking awesome, dude. Yeah, so he says, I was questioning why they wanted me. Then I came here and I saw a bunch of guys who like to work and not talk. I realized I'm the perfect fit. Hell yeah, dude. That's like Stingley and Andre Johnson of the past. But Nico's like that too. But yeah, I mean, basically it's like guys who want to fucking win. What else we got? Biggest takeaways from DJ Bieneme says O-line was better than day one, and Stroud's favorite target was Kirk, and they connected on a few passes, highlighted by a deep shot. Will and Daniil should have 10+ sacks again. All right. We'll get to a couple more interviews, a couple more comments, and we will get out of here soon. It's fucking past midnight. God damn. Nick Chubb learned Texans fast, says Nosh. Facts. Billy says, I'm glad to see Chubb is here. I can't wait to see him on the field. Brandon says, thunder and thunder and thunder and thunder. Facts. Billy Ellis says, Chubbs and CJ will be great together on the field. I agree. Here's the Neil Hunter talking about the chemistry of the D-line.
Good chemistry because we know how each other rushes now. So, I mean, the biggest thing is we line up. We kind of have a sense, an idea of what's going to happen inside and what's going to happen on the outside. So that's a plus.
Yeah, so I kind of mentioned, like, you know, we all wanted, like, you know, these new guys on the D-line and stuff, but there is value in running it back. Like, it's like O-line, like continuity, like, you know, like he mentions a point where, like, okay, like everyone's different. Like Daniil likes to rush this way and Will likes to rush this way. So, and then the interior. So like now if you like know when and where guys are going to be in certain situations based off their tendencies, you now can synchronize. You're not going to have two guys in the same spot. Like that's a very undervalued thing. So running it back with some of these guys that people thought weren't elite, where they wanted, you know, X at, you know, D tackle or whatever. Now you run it back with Mario Edwards, Tim Settle Jr., et cetera, et cetera. But you also have continuity, so that's a good thing, including Sheldon Rankins, who he's new, but he has some continuity prior. And then Nosh says Dari is likely gone by the looks of it. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, that'll be interesting to see. And this is Sarge tweeted this from Chubb.
What do you say about some of the concerns that people may have about the way that your season ended in 2023 and then how it ended in 2024 with the injuries?
I would say that's all behind me, and you know, injuries happen, and with what I did, it takes about 2 years to really get back. So I'm over the hump. I'm back home. I was back home all off season training, where I trained, you know, every year since I was in high school. I was able to get a full year in, just doing the things that I do best. So now I'm feeling good as I have been in a long time.
And that's what Dr. Deepak Shona said, that it takes about 2 years. I mean, that's exactly what the fuck he said. Oh, dude. Goddamn, Daniil.
It's been a good offseason so far. Focused on
Jesus Christ, dude.
Focused on getting better as a football player. Fucking 5 pounds of muscle. So that's a plus. Just basically just getting my body ready for the season.
This guy's a fucking animal, dude. Jesus Christ. He said he put 5 pounds of muscle on. And just look at this photo that Landry posted. Holy fucking shit. Look at his arms. Look at his hands. What the fuck? Like fucking. Look at those things, dude. Are you fucking kidding me? His hand is bigger than my fucking head. His hand is like this. His hand is like the length of my fucking elbow to my hand. You know, it's like, you know what's funny? I just thought of like calling him Gumby, and I remembered that in his opening presser, he said his nickname is Gumby. He's like fucking Gumby. He's just this big fucking rangy guy. That's crazy, dude. Jesus. All right, now we're on a JJ Watt interview, which was awesome and impromptu, and he gave us a lot of good shit.
I mean, I would say it has nothing to do with the decorations. It has more to do with the day-to-day enjoyment of what you do. I love the game of football. You know, when I was playing, I always said I would never be an analyst. I was like, you'll never ever catch me doing that. And then I retired and I realized, son of a bitch, I really love this game. Like, I really love football. So I want to be around it. I want to be a part of it. And I love watching these guys at the highest level do what they do. So it's
same, JJ, same. That's awesome. And then he talks about this one is fucking dope. Let's see. All right, here we go.
There's nothing that would be crazier in this city than a Super Bowl parade. Texas is a football state. Houston is a football town. We've got some incredible other teams here as well. I mean, personally got to enjoy the Astros parades and everything that came with the Astros winning multiple World Series. Would love nothing more than to see the Texans version.
I agree 1,000%. Like, I understand the debate about being a football town or not, but like for me personally, in our community ecosystem that we've got, football's king, bro. Like a fucking Super Bowl in Houston would feed families, dude. God, that's all we want. That's all we want. That's all we want. We just want one fucking Super Bowl, and we will get it within the next 10 years. Within the next 5 years, we'll get a Super Bowl. I agree with him. Like, I get, the argument about, we're new, so like it's only 20 something years since 2012, whatever it is, how long it's been around. Obviously, like, winning is a factor. So of course you're a baseball town when baseball fucking wins. Of course you are. Yeah, fuck, we got a World Series. I mean, but everyone wants football. Like, so my take is like, if and when we do win a Super Bowl, it's fucking done. It's over. That's it. Like, now it's fucking football. But we have to get there first. Like, I mean, you have to like build it and show it and prove it for it to officially become that. And so that's kind of my take on it. Like, to me, football is king. Everyone's different, but like, once we do win a Super Bowl, like, it's fucking done. Like, there's no question. And so here's some of the highlights. We'll just go through. I'm over here burping and shit now. This wine catching up. I'm gonna go through the whole video. I'm gonna mute it of all the highlights via the Texans Instagram. And so it's just warming up, Stingley jogging with the visor, all pro, and then it shows Kaimi Townsend. Townsend is holding the ball. Kaimi's kicking the ball. It's going straight. This I thought was cool. It's just stupid, subtle stuff, but Nico Collins is shown doing a drill where I guess they're all doing it. But this kind of goes back to the point that they're trying all receivers at all positions and all things. Nico is at a condensed split or a slot split, and then he does a shuffle motion out to the left and runs a route. So that's one minor thing where you start here and you move here. And so now you got a nickelback, whoever it is, and then now you widen them out and get them moving, and then you run. Just something small. I mean, I thought